Chapter 3094. However, she was rejected by the great elder. After all, Yuana was an expert. She would be heartbroken if she was replaced. In addition, Dongfang Burua was also suffering from insomnia. Previously, Dongfang Cha had helped him find a female student. He had called to say that he had found one, but she never came back. When Dongfang Burua called again, Dongfang Cha's phone was turned off. Dongfang Burua didn't think much of it before. However, Dongfang Cha still did not appear in the middle of the night. Dongfang Burua called again, but her phone was still turned off. He became anxious and quickly called his father, Dongfang Jinxing. "Burua? It's so late. What's the matter?" Dongfang Jinxing practiced at night. As the head of the Dongfang family, he had to deal with a lot of things during the day. He could only practice at night, which was why he was slower than Dongfang Yinxing. "Dad, Dongfang Cha disappeared," Dongfang Burua said anxiously. "Dongfang Cha? Disappeared? What do you mean?" Dongfang Jinxing didn't understand what Dongfang Burua meant. "Wasn't he with you? Why did he disappear?" He went out and never came back." Dongfang Burua hesitated. He didn't know that his father, Dongfang Jinxing, already knew that he had sent Dongfang Cha to find beautiful women for him. So he stuttered and didn't dare to tell the truth. "He found you a female student, right?" Dongfang Jinxing said directly. "He didn't come back after he went out." "Ah, Dad, you know." Dongfang Burua was shocked. Could it be that his father stopped Dongfang Cha from coming back? That couldn't be right. From his father's tone, he didn't know that Dongfang Cha didn't come back. So he quickly said, "Yes, he called me earlier and said that he found two of the best. He came back immediately, but there was no news after that. He told me about this before, I know, but he had already found two female students. And when he was about to come back, he disappeared." Dongfang Jinxing was shocked, but he was a little confused. What could happen to Dongfang Cha in the secular world? "Yes, his phone was turned off, and there's no news at all," Dongfang Burua said. "Okay, I got it. Don't sleep. I'll investigate and contact you immediately." Although Dongfang Jinxing felt that Dongfang Cha should be fine, he still stood up and decided to check the surveillance footage from Dongfang Cha's car. When Dongfang Jinxing heard Dongfang Burua's words, he immediately ended his cultivation. After a simple tidying up, he quickly walked towards the surveillance room of the Dongfang family. The Dongfang family was a relatively modern family. At the very least, they had things that people nowadays could use. They all knew how to use it, and were even more advanced. Moreover, the way they dressed was exactly the same as that of modern people. Dongfang Jinxing quickly walked into the control room, and the disciple in charge of guarding the control room hurriedly greeted him. "Young patriarch, why are you here?" "Okay, can you show me the video of Dongfang Cha after she went to East Ocean City?" Dongfang Jinxing said to the disciple. Without the authorization of Dongfang Jinxing or Dongfang Badeo, even the disciples who guard the monitoring room can't access the monitoring at will. "All right, young master, please authorize your fingerprint." After the disciple pulled up the monitoring footage, he couldn't play it. He needed Dongfang Jinxing or Dongfang Badeo's fingerprint authorization. Dongfang Jinxing nodded, then reached out and swiped on the fingerprint device. With a beep sound, the fingerprint verification was successful, and the computer began to play Dongfang Cha's every move. Before, it was the scene of Dongfang Cha and Dongfang Burua just arriving in East Ocean City. Then, it was the scene of Dongfang Cha driving to the East Ocean Industry University. Then Dongfang Cha waited for a while downstairs. Dongfang Jinxing fast-forwarded all of this until Dongfang Cha knocked out the two girls. Here comes the main point. "It's Elder Dark Knight of the Dark Palace?" Dongfang Jinxing saw the person on the screen and was shocked. The Grand Elder of the Dark Palace was respectfully called Elder Dark Knight. It didn't mean that she had this name, but that every generation of Grand Elder would have this name. However, this wasn't all that surprising. What happened next made Dongfang Jinxing's face turn extremely ugly. Elder Dark Knight had actually killed Dongfang Cha. After that, the image was cut off. It seemed like Elder Dark Knight had gotten someone to find the surveillance camera and destroy it. "Dark Palace, you and I have no grievances. How dare you kill the elder of my Dongfang family?" Do you think the elder of our Dongfang family is easy to bully? Because from the screen, Dongfang Jingxing didn't know that Ming Yao was the inheritor of the Dark Palace. In Dongfang Jingxing's eyes, they were just two beautiful little girls. Wasn't Elder Dark Knight a busybody? We caught our people, what does it have to do with you? Do you think you're a hero, who will help others when you see injustice? Dongfang Jingxing was very angry. This was the third person of his family to die in a row. Before it was Dongfang Burua, then Dongfang Jian, and finally Dongfang Cha. These were all first-class masters, and they all died like this? No matter how powerful the Dongfang family was, it was enough to lose 3 heaven-class masters in a row. Dongfang Jingxing didn't dare to make a decision. He copied the video into his phone, and then quickly walked to the place where Dongfang Badeo practiced. Who? As soon as Dongfang Jingxing walked to the door of Dongfang Badeo's room, he heard Dongfang Yinqing's question inside. After all, who in the Dongfang family would come here in the middle of the night? So his tone was a little bad. Come in, it's Jingxing. Dongfang Badeo spoke at this time. He was stronger than Dongfang Yinqing, so he heard the footsteps from Dongfang Jingxing. Yes, father. Dongfang Jingxing pushed the door and walked into the room, then hurriedly said, Dad's second brother, something big happened. Dongfang Cha also dead. What? Dongfang Badeo suddenly stood up, and his eyes were full of incredible look. Jingxing, what did you say? Dongfang Cha also died? How did she die? Was she killed when she went to investigate the cause of Dongfang Jian's death? Chapter 3095. Dark Knight Palace? Elder Anya? Fuck her. What does it have to do with her that Bu Bu is looking for a woman? Is she in menopause? Dongfang Yinqing was furious after hearing it. This was also a spoiled Dongfang Bu. Dongfang Yinqing had no children and regarded Dongfang Bu and Dongfang Bu as his own. It could be said that in the family, Dongfang Badeo was the first to spoil them, Dongfang Yinqing was the second, and Dongfang Jingxing was the third. However, Dongfang Jingxing sometimes did not dare to discipline Dongfang Bu and Dongfang Bu too much. So, Dongfang Bu went out to show off and was beaten to death. Dongfang Bu went out to look for a woman, and the elder Dongfang Cha was beaten to death. Because of what? Dongfang Badeo frowned. Jingxing, are you telling the truth? You didn't hide anything? Dad, these are all our people. I have nothing to hide. Dongfang Jingxing smiled bitterly and said, I have a video of what happened at that time. Have a look. Dongfang Badeo nodded. Although he was shocked, it was difficult to understand why the Supreme Elder of the Dark Knight Palace would attack Dongfang Cha. There was no reason at all. However, after watching the video, Dongfang Badeo was also inexplicable. How did Dongfang Cha die? It seemed that Elder Anya was standing up for the 2 girls who were caught. But who were the 2 girls? Dongfang Badeo did not think that the disciples of the ancient level would go to school in the secular world. There were in the hidden level, but it was basically impossible in the ancient level. So Dongfang Badeo ruled out the possibility that the 2 girls were disciples of the Dark Knight Palace. But if they were not disciples, were they relatives of Elder Anya? Tomorrow, issue a letter of challenge. We, the Dongfang family, declare war on the Dark Knight Palace. The reason is Dongfang Cha. Dongfang Badeo said coldly. We dare not find trouble with the everyday and tomorrow sect for the time being, but the Dark Knight Palace, During this time, the Dongfang family members died one after another, which made Dongfang Badeo unable to bear it. This time, he wanted to vent the anger in his heart on the Dark Knight Palace. Dongfang Bu died, but he did not dare to take revenge. Dongfang Jian died, but he did not know how he died. Only the death of Dongfang Cha, the Dongfang family dared to take action. Yes, father. Then tomorrow morning, what reason should I use to challenge the Palace of Darkness? Dongfang Jingxing asked. Let's just tell the truth. We can't hide this. If the truth is different from what we say, and the Palace of Darkness spreads it, it won't be good for us. We have to tell the truth. Dongfang Badeo pondered for a moment and said, It's just capturing 2 female students in the secular world. It's not a big deal. No one can say anything wrong about our Dongfang family. Alright, I understand. Dongfang Jingxing nodded. Indeed, although this matter sounded a bit absurd, which ancient sect didn't have a bit of filth? Dongfang Jingxing knew that there were also ancient sects that supported the merchants of the secular world to smuggle and rob. Many people were well aware of this, so it was really not a big deal to bully people. This night Dongfang Jingxing didn't sleep. He had been thinking about how to deal with the Palace of Darkness. After all, he would declare war on the Palace of Darkness tomorrow morning. He must have the first step of the plan. Otherwise he would be laughed at by others. The next day, when the sky was just getting bright, Dongfang Jingxing sent a fax letter to all the ancient sections. This was a letter to declare war on the Palace of Darkness. Because the Dongfang family was a modern family, they used fax instead of pigeons or letters. In fact, other ancient sects also had fax, but these ancient sects were not used to using it. Dongfang Jingxing's declaration of war shocked many of the ancient sections. For so many years, there hadn't been a battle between the ancient sections. But now, it actually happened, and it was the powerful Dongfang family against the weak Dark Palace? Of course, after reading the contents of the letter, everyone didn't think that the Dongfang family was bullying the Palace of Darkness. After all, the people of the Dongfang family said very clearly that it was the Grand Elder of the Palace of Darkness who first killed Elder Dongfang Cha of the Dongfang family. The cause was just that Dongfang Cha had captured 2 female students. This caused the ancient sects to immediately lean towards the Dongfang family's side. Which ancient sect didn't have a bit of filth? In everyone's eyes, what the Dongfang clan had done was really nothing. This supreme elder was simply meddling in other people's business. He deserved to be challenged by others. Didn't you, Elder Dark Knight, enter the mundane world to find an inheritor? Why didn't you find the inheritor? So you went to meddle in other people's business. Are you so bored that your balls hurt? Of course, she didn't have balls. Otherwise, if anyone did something bad in the dark, and the other ancient sects interfered, would they still be able to live? So no one stood up for the Palace of Darkness. Of course, they also knew that the declaration of war would only cause the Palace of Darkness to lose some people and pay some price. The Palace of Darkness couldn't be destroyed, and the Dongfang family wouldn't dare to destroy the Palace of Darkness. However, not long after the news of the Dongfang family declaring war on the Palace of Darkness was released, the pigeons of the palace's black-clothed elders also reached the desks of the various ancient sects. The Dongfang family actually captured the inheritor that the Palace of Darkness was looking for. This news was like an explosion in the ancient sections. This time, no one said anything bad about the Palace of Darkness. They all started to criticize the Dongfang family's elder Dongfang Cha for acting recklessly. She dared to capture the inheritor of the Palace of Darkness. Wasn't that asking for death? Luckily, she was discovered by Elder Dark Knight and killed Dongfang Cha in time to save the inheritor. If the inheritor was really harmed by Dongfang Brua, then the result. If the 5 Elements sect knew, they would probably destroy the Dongfang family. In the ancient sects, each sect leader more or less knew something about the 5 Elements sect. And these people were mostly Heaven-class late-phase peak, or perfect late-phase peak Heaven-class masters. They all looked forward to the start of the Heaven-class Island project, hoping that one day they could successfully step into the Heavenly Law. And so, these inheritors became the key to the Heavenly Island project. The Dark Palace had just found an inheritor, but he was almost killed by Dongfang Burua of the Dongfang clan. This didn't just affect the Dark Palace's benefits, it affected the benefits of the entire ancient world. Chapter 3096. This was not a joke. He was the inheritor of the Heavenly Stage Island plan. Compared with ascending to the Heavenly Tao, what were those filthy sects? Therefore, everyone felt that Elder Anya had done too much, and Dongfang Burua should be killed too. Of course, Dongfang Jingxing, who got the news for the first time, was so angry that he almost vomited blood. The person that Dongfang Cha caught happened to be the inheritor that the Dark Palace was looking for? How could it be so coincidental? However, he also knew that the Dark Knight Palace wouldn't lie to him about this. They would know the truth with just one look. Since it was Dongfang Cha who captured him, it must be the heir of the Dark Knight Palace. This also explained why Elder Dark Knight would kill someone out of anger for no reason. You almost killed the heir of the Dark Knight Palace. No one could accept that. I'm so angry, I'm so angry. Dongfang Jingxing felt that he had done an extremely stupid thing. If he had known that things would be like this, he would never have sent a letter of challenge. As a result, the Dongfang family had become the laughing stock in the eyes of all the ancient sections. It was fine that no one supported them, but the key was that everyone was scolding the Dongfang family for being shameless. They had made a mistake, but they were the first to complain, pretending to be wronged, and deceiving everyone's feelings. Dongfang Jingxing knew that the prestige of the Dongfang family had not only plummeted, but even if they wanted to find trouble with the Dark Palace, they couldn't. Because now all the ancient sects did not support the Dongfang family's approach. If there was no previous letter of challenge, then after the Dark Palace issued a statement, Dongfang Jingxing could still jump out and pretend to be wrong to gain sympathy. After all, although they had caught your inheritor, they didn't know. Couldn't they tell us? Did they have to kill people? In this way, there might be people who would support them. After all, who didn't know? Who could be faultless? If it was someone from other ancient sects, would you kill him directly? But now it was useless to say anything. It was just a joke. Taking a deep breath, Dongfang Jingxing quickly walked to Dongfang Badeo's room. This time, he didn't knock on the door, and didn't wait for the person inside to speak. Jingxing, has the letter of challenge been sent out? When Dongfang Badeo saw Dongfang Jingxing breaking in, he was a little unhappy. You are also a cultivator. Don't you know that it is not good to disturb others' cultivation? However, Dongfang Badeo thought that Dongfang Xingzhou was too excited to deal with the Dark Palace, and didn't say much. Yes, it has been sent out. Dongfang Badeo nodded and said with a grim face. But our Dongfang family has lost a lot of face this time. Oh, what do you mean? Dongfang Badeo suddenly froze, and Dongfang Yinxing next to him also opened his eyes, and looked at Dongfang Jingxing strangely. My challenge has just been sent out. At this time, the ancient era is still supporting us to take revenge. Everyone knows in their hearts that which sect doesn't have some dirty dealings? So they all thought that Elder Dark Knight of the Dark Knight Palace was being a busybody. But who would have thought that not long after, the Dark Knight Palace also made a statement, saying that our Dongfang family went to capture their inheritor. One of the two female students turned out to be the inheritor of the Dark Knight Palace. This is great. All the ancient era is scolding our Dongfang family to die. It's good that one dies, the whole family should die. Dongfang Jingxing said hatefully. Now our Dongfang family is in a dilemma. Revenge, that is impossible. If we don't retaliate, it is equivalent to slapping our own face. We have lost our face to the Pacific Ocean. The statement issued by the Dark Knight Palace later? After us? Dongfang Badeo frowned and said. If this is the case, then they did it on purpose? Why didn't they say it before? But after we sent the letter of challenge. Isn't it clear that our Dongfang family is humiliated? Jingxing, as long as you grasp this point, there is still a chance to make a comeback. It has to be said that the older the ginger, the spicier. Dongfang Badeo found a solution at once. Although Dongfang Badeo didn't say that the Dark Knight Palace was lying and did it on purpose, other ancient sects would inevitably think about it. At that time, the pressure on the Dongfang family would be greatly relieved. Dad, if this is the case, what you said is a good idea. But the Dark Knight Palace used a pigeon letter. Now it seems that the statement was sent out after the incident yesterday, but everyone just received it now, and we used a fax. Dongfang Jingxing said weakly. This? Dongfang Badeo was stunned, and suddenly remembered that their Dongfang family used modern equipment. In the past, he often laughed at other ancient sects for being backward, wearing ancient clothes and using pigeons. Weren't they tired? But today, Dongfang Badeo discovered that although the fax was convenient, but if the Dongfang family didn't have a fax, then this matter would be much easier. After all, using a pigeon letter was not as convenient as a fax. First, a professional beast tamer had to show the pigeon the map, determine the direction, and then set off. In this time, the news of the Dark Knight Palace had already spread. It was really Xiao He who won and Xiao He who lost. Father, this matter can't be done anymore. We don't need to say anything more about this matter. The temporary tolerance is just for revenge in the future. Dongfang Yinxing said at this time. The Dark Night Palace. We will remember this account first, wait for this period of time to pass. Then we will find trouble with the Dark Night Palace. Now it's impossible. Yes, Inxing is right, Jinxing, don't be angry. Do what you should do, and send another elder to assist Dongfang Buqiu. But things like catching female students, don't do it anymore, settle Su Shirhan's matter, then come back. Dongfang Badeo said. Yes, father. Dongfang Jinxing took a deep breath, calmed the depressed mood in his heart, nodded and left. Although Dongfang Jinxing's heart was extremely angry, but after returning to his room, he still calmly dialed Dongfang Buqiu's phone and told him what happened. So it's like this. Then Dongfang Cha is dead, on my side. What about Su Shirhan's matter? Dongfang Buqiu asked with some worry. But in his heart, he was cursing Dongfang Cha, this bastard, going out to catch people without eyes. How did he provoke the inheritor of the Dark Night Palace? There were so many beautiful women, but you caught an inheritor, it's really good. Chapter 3097. I'll send another master to help you with Su Shirhan. This time, it's Elder Dongfang Song from House Dongfang. Don't make any unreasonable requests. His main task is to help you capture Su Shirhan. Dongfang Jinxing said. Yes. Dongfang Brua wasn't happy, but he still nodded. He had no choice. He had to listen to Dongfang Jinxing and come back early after this. If there's nothing else, I'll hang up first. Dongfang Jinxing said. After hanging up, Dongfang Brua didn't have any reason to stay in the hotel. He might as well go out and see if there was anything interesting. Since he couldn't capture female students, he could still go to the brothels. But just as he left the hotel, he saw someone that made him excited. It was Su Shirhan's manager, Wang Sis. She was staying in this hotel as well. This made Dongfang not weak very excited. It really was a case of wearing out iron shoes and fruitless searching, and finding what she was looking for. He thought it would take a while to find out where Su Shirhan was. But he didn't think that she would deliver herself to his doorstep. Dongfang Brua didn't hesitate and quietly followed her. Wang Sis, on the other hand, was just a normal person. Naturally, she wouldn't feel that she was being followed by a practitioner. Wang Sis drove to Lin Yi's villa as usual. Dongfang Brua saw this scene and didn't force his way in. He memorized the route and returned to the hotel. Meng Yao was right. The two elders were standing in Lin Yi's villa early in the morning, not daring to barge in. They flew into the villa, but didn't dare barge in. Lin Yi, what's the matter with you? Lin Yi asked. We're here. In fact, when Grand Elder and Elder Black-Clothed appeared in the courtyard, Lin Yi already felt it. It was just that Lin Yi didn't go out. After all, Grand Elder and Elder Black-Clothed didn't have any bad intentions. Why would Lin Yi go out so early? After ending his training, Lin Yi opened the window and looked at Grand Elder and Elder Black-Clothed. He said indifferently, Meng Yao hasn't woken up yet. If you wake her up, you'll have to bear the consequences. I'm telling you, she hates it when people disturb her sleep. If she doesn't sleep well, she'll be in a bad mood. If she doesn't go to the Palace of Darkness with you, you'll be crying. The Great Elder was infuriated by Lin Yi's words. Just as he was about to scold him, he was stopped by the black-clothed elder. Grand Elder, please calm down. Don't bother with this guy, we're here for Meng Yao. Let's just wait for a while. The elder in black said quickly, Yes, you're right. I won't lower myself to your level. The Great Elder nodded and ignored Lin Yi. Instead, he stood in the courtyard silently. Just like that, he waited. In actuality, Meng Yao hadn't slept at all. She'd heard the elder's voice as well. She had already gotten up to wash up. Meng Yao and Yushu came downstairs a while later, but they didn't see the Grand Elder in the living room. Wasn't the Grand Elder already here? You guys are awake. Lin Yi walked out of the room, but couldn't help but smile bitterly when he saw the dark circles under Meng Yao and Shu's eyes. Looks like you two didn't sleep at all. Yeah, I couldn't sleep either, so I didn't sleep. Meng Yao sighed and asked curiously, Lin Yi, where's the Grand Elder? Why don't I see her? She's standing at the door. Lin Yi shrugged. Don't mind her, we'll talk after dinner. That's not good, is it? The miss was still kind. Lin Yi smiled. All right then, I'll go cook. You let her in. Okay. Meng Yao nodded and went to open the villa's door. The Grand Elder and Elder Black-Clothed were already standing outside the door. Mengyao, what's your decision? The Grand Elder was strong. She'd heard the conversation between Lin Yi and Mengyao loud and clear, so she knew that Mengyao was awake. She just didn't want to make a scene. Come in. The miss, naturally, wouldn't reveal her trump card so easily. She didn't say yes, nor did she say no. All right. As far as the Grand Elder was concerned, letting her in meant that there was progress. Otherwise, she wouldn't be able to get the door shut. She quickly went into the living room with the black-clothed elder and sat on the sofa. Mengyao, I believe you know what it means to be an inheritor, right? Your friends Xiao Xiao and Tang Yun are inheritors, right? We've already investigated this, and you can imagine the benefits. The Grand Elder and the black-clothed elder were discussing yesterday, and naturally, they'd investigated Mengyao's friends as well. She wanted to use them as an example. Tang Yun. Mengyao's heart skipped a beat. Luckily, Linny had gone to the kitchen to make breakfast. Otherwise, he'd definitely ask who Tang Yun was. But Mengyao couldn't really say anything. She said calmly, "Don't mention my friends. Now I just want to ask, what can I get from the Palace of Darkness?" The Palace Master of the Palace of Darkness. All of the palace's training resources are open to you, the Grand Elder said. Grand Elder, let's talk openly and honestly, Yi Futian said. Mengyao was very rational. She'd thought about it all night. She looked at the Grand Elder and said slowly, "You're hiding something from me, aren't you?" What can I hide? The Grand Elder's face changed. Mengyao, what do you mean? It seems like you don't want me to go to the Palace of Darkness, Grand Elder. Mengyao shook her head. Then there's no need for us to talk anymore. You're hiding something from me, and you're not telling me. How can I guarantee that you'll keep your promise? What are you trying to say? The Great Elder took a deep breath as if he had thought of something, but he asked with uncertainty. One for one. Mengyao said, I think I've made myself clear enough. Grand Elder, you should be able to understand. If you agree, then we'll talk about the rest. Otherwise, there's nothing to talk about. You know everything? About your mom? The Grand Elder was now completely certain that Mengyao knew about Yi Wan-er's situation. Otherwise, she wouldn't have suggested a one-for-one trade. Chapter 3098. That. I need to think about it. The Grand Elder's face wasn't looking too good. This was the condition she didn't want to accept the most. But she didn't expect Mengyao to be the first to bring it up. It seemed like the black-clothed elder was right. What other conditions do you have? Tell me all of them, and I'll think about them. The other thing is, I want absolute freedom. My friends can come and see me anytime, or I'll come home when I'm free. You can't stop me from calling my friends and family. Mengyao said. That's right. That's not a problem. The Grand Elder already knew that Mengyao's personality was completely different from Yi Wan-er's. It was basically impossible to expect Mengyao to be as docile as Yi Wan-er. So, the Grand Elder didn't even think about it, and agreed to Mengyao's request. She knew that even if she didn't agree, she couldn't do anything if Mengyao insisted. Don't let me go home? Don't let me see my friends? Fine. I won't train anymore. I won't inherit anymore. What can you do? So in order to make Mengyao happy, the Grand Elder agreed without hesitation. As for the first condition, since it involved the Dark Palace's benefits, she had to think about it carefully. She couldn't make a decision right now. That's all. If you agree, I'll go with you. Mengyao said. If not, then there's nothing I can do. The Grand Elder took a deep breath. She almost nodded in agreement. After all, Mengyao said that she'd go with her if she agreed. In her heart, she really wanted Mengyao to leave right now, but her rationality made her say, I'll think about it and give you an answer. All right. Mengyao nodded. At that moment, Linny had already put the breakfast on the table. Yao Yao. Shu Han, time to eat. Linny called, not putting the Grand Elder in his eyes at all. All right. Let's eat then, I'm hungry. The Grand Elder had been thinking about how to get Mengyao to train with her at the Dark Palace yesterday, so she didn't eat dinner at all. She was a little hungry now. I'm sorry, I didn't prepare your share. Linny shrugged and pointed to the food on the table. This is our own. The Great Elder's face immediately turned red, But he remembered that he couldn't get angry at this moment. Everything had to be done for the sake of the sect, so he just coldly snorted and said, "This old one is a heaven stage expert. They were cultivators. He didn't need to eat. I'm just teasing you. Even if you want me to eat it, I won't. Hey, let's go." "Yes, Grand Elder." The black-clothed elder quickly replied. Thus, the Grand Elder quickly left with the black-clothed elder, not leaving a single cloud behind. Phew. Chu Mengniao let out a long sigh of relief as the Grand Elder left. She sat down at the table. "It seems like my conditions have troubled the Grand Elder. It doesn't matter. As long as we stick to this bottom line, she will compromise." Linny said as he gave the miss a look. "This is also your father's wish. Otherwise you wouldn't have left, right?" "Yes, if my mother doesn't come back, I'd rather die than leave." Mengyao paused, but she still played along with Linny. Not far from the door, the Grand Elder and the black-clothed elder were hiding in the dark. They didn't leave yet. The Grand Elder wanted to eavesdrop on Mengyao's conversation after they left. He wanted to know what Mengyao's bottom line was. But when the Grand Elder heard Mengyao's words, she staggered. She wouldn't leave even if she died? Her face darkened. It seemed like she had no choice but to agree. "Let's go." The Grand Elder stopped eavesdropping and quickly left with the black-clothed elder. The Grand Elder was a Sky Class Master. Don't forget that Lin Yi was also a Sky Class Master. Lin Yi also felt that the Grand Elder didn't leave, so he asked Mengyao. His goal was to let the Grand Elder eavesdrop. Now he achieved his goal. Alright, the Grand Elder left. She was eavesdropping just now. Lin Yi said to Mengyao, "Let's eat." "So that's how it is." The misunderstood. "Lin Yi, do you think she'll agree?" "Theoretically, it shouldn't be a problem," Lin Yi said. With that, everyone started to eat their breakfast in silence. Mengyao's departure was getting closer and closer, and the whole living room was filled with a sad atmosphere. It was an indescribable sadness. Today, Mengyao and Yushu didn't go to school but stayed at home. Perhaps they would leave tonight. Mengyao couldn't bear to leave. She couldn't bear to leave her daddy. Couldn't bear to leave Shu. Couldn't bear to leave General Weiwu. Couldn't bear to leave Lin Yi. With Dongfang Cha's death, House Dongfang sent another elder. However, this elder was a Sky Class mid-phase. His name was Dongfang Song. When he came, he received orders from Dongfang Jingxing to only cooperate with Dongfang Buqiu to deal with Su Shirhan and the people around her. Other than that, he was not to agree to any of Dongfang Buqiu's requests. If he couldn't change his mind, he would call Dongfang Jingxing and let him talk to Dongfang Buqiu. Fortunately, Dongfang Buqiu was well behaved this time. He knew what his father sent this person for, so he didn't make any unreasonable requests. Of course, Dongfang Buqiu didn't feel guilty at all for Dongfang Cha's death. As far as he was concerned, it was Dongfang Cha who didn't use her eyes and clashed with the Dark Palace's popularity. Who could he blame? Why didn't you find out about the student's background before you captured her? Go up and capture her? Aren't you afraid of death? And so Dongfang Buqiu didn't feel guilty at all. One had to say, Dongfang Buqiu relied on his identity as the only heir to the head of the house. Otherwise, why would the Dongfang people respect him? Young Master Buqiu, the head of the house asked me to cooperate with you to deal with Su Shirhan and the people around her. Dongfang Song told Dongfang Buqiu his goal as soon as he came. He wanted Dongfang Buqiu to know that this was his goal, and not to cause any more trouble. Chapter 3099. That's for the best. You're not weak, young master. Dongfang Song nodded. Motherfucker. Who do you think you are? Using a chicken feather as a token of authority, like a fox borrowing the tiger's might. Dongfang Brua inwardly despised Dongfang Song. You're still trying to negotiate with me? Wait till I sit in the position of young patriarch. See how I deal with you. However, on the surface, Dongfang Buqiu didn't show it. He was impatient. He followed Su Shirhan's manager, Sister Wang, and found her location. However, Dongfang Buqiu didn't act rashly. He knew his own strength. Although he felt that Su Shirhan shouldn't have any powerful people around her, he was a person who cherished his life. So after finding out her location, he returned to the hotel and waited for Dongfang Song. In the blink of an eye, It was evening. The Supreme Elder brought the black-clothed elder back to Lin Yi's villa. This time, Lin Yi directly opened the door and let the Grand Elder in. "You're here? Have you thought it through?" "Meng Yao, after some consideration, I can agree to your conditions." The Grand Elder suddenly changed the topic. "But your father, Yuan must always be an honorary elder of the Palace of Darkness, and cannot leave the Palace of Darkness. Of course, she can live in the secular world." Meng Yao nodded. She knew that the Grand Elder had compromised, and this was the best way. It was impossible for her mother to leave the Palace of Darkness completely. "Okay, that's not a problem, as long as my mother comes back." Meng Yao nodded. "All right, tell me more about the inheritors of the Dark Phoenix bloodline. What am I going to do after I go there? How am I going to do it? Moreover, after I became the inheritor, what are they going to do? I hope that Grand Elder won't hide anything from me. Tell me everything." The Grand Elder hesitated. Meng Yao had told him what she had to do and how she had to do it, and that was fine. But it was hard to say what she had to do after becoming an inheritor. It was dangerous, and the Grand Elder was afraid that Meng Yao would change her mind if he told her. "Grand Elder, since I promised you, he would not go back on his word. I just want to know," Meng Yao said with determination. "All right, since that's the case, I'll tell you about it." The Grand Elder had no other choice. He could only nod. Go to the Palace of Darkness. In truth, he was cultivating in one of the residences in the Dark Phoenix mountain range. During his cultivation, he would comprehend the metal-type inheritance of the Dark Phoenix mountain range. You should know that the Dark Phoenix bloodline belongs to the metal element. However, the inheritance we obtained is the Dark Phoenix inheritance, not the metal element inheritance. Instead, we awaken the Dark Phoenix bloodline in our bodies to activate the metal element. In this world, there are very few people with the Dark Phoenix bloodline. Usually, their ancestors obtained it by chance, and then passed it on through the only method of blood relatives. Therefore, there are very few people who can be used as a reference. Only your mother, Yuan. I hope you can have a good chat with her. At least, I haven't discovered any other Dark Phoenix bloodline yet. The Grand Elder thought that she'd find a new inheritor of the Dark Phoenix bloodline, but she didn't expect it to be Meng Yao. She'd seen Meng Yao when she was young, and the Dark Phoenix bloodline was already pitifully low. There was no use at all. So how did it become so pure all of a sudden? Meng Yao nodded. "All right, I'll have a good chat with my mother. But with the purity of the Dark Phoenix bloodline in your body, you'll be able to accept the inheritance." The Grand Elder comforted. "But why is your bloodline so pure? Could it be that something has happened?" The Grand Elder seemed to be asking casually, but she was actually trying to find out the reason, to give the Palace of Darkness a way out. If they could find out how to purify the Dark Phoenix bloodline, then the Palace of Darkness' future would be guaranteed. It had to be said that although the Supreme Elder was very sinister, ruthless, and unreasonable, he was loyal and devoted to the sect. He did not have any selfish motives. "I swallowed a black phoenix." Meng Yao didn't hide anything. "What? You swallowed a dark phoenix?" The Grand Elder jumped as she thought of something. "Could it be that the dark phoenix from before was bought by you guys?" "That's right, I bought it," Lin Yi nodded. "Could it be that swallowing a dark phoenix can purify the Dark Phoenix bloodline?" "It's not purified. It means that a person without the Dark Phoenix bloodline will have it after swallowing a dark phoenix." The Grand Elder was a little excited. Meng Yao was the first generation of the Dark Phoenix bloodline, and Meng Yao's children would be able to inherit the Dark Phoenix bloodline and become inheritors. Even if they didn't have the chance to participate in the Sky-class Island project, becoming an inheritor would be beneficial as well. They'd be able to smoothly raise their strength to Sky-class late-phase peak, ensuring the overall strength of the Palace of Darkness. Of course, the disappointing thing was that Meng Yao's method of inheriting the Dark Phoenix bloodline wasn't something that could be replicated or referenced. All the disciples of the Palace of Darkness knew that the first inheritor of the Dark Phoenix bloodline was born after swallowing a dark phoenix, but dark phoenixes were very rare, and it took hundreds of years to find one. Meng Yao had swallowed one by chance, and it seemed like she was quite lucky. "I see." Meng Yao nodded. No wonder you didn't take me with you before. Meng Yao felt that she was quite lucky. At least she'd lived in the common world for so many years, and she'd even met Lin Yi. Yes, let's not talk about the past. Let's talk about the present. Now that you're in the Palace of Darkness, there's practically no danger when it comes to training. It could even be described as a smooth journey. After all, inheritors who have received the inheritance have no barriers. The Grand Elder said. The only thing you're worried about is what you're going to do and where you're going. To be honest, I'm not too sure about that myself, but it's said that there's a Sky-class island project, allowing all Sky-class late phase peak to have a chance of breaking through to Heavenly Dao. I heard that there'll be some danger when the Sky-class island project opens, but I'm not sure what it is exactly. Chapter 3100. The situation was similar to what the Grand Elder had said. There was some danger, but they didn't know what the danger was. Thinking about it, the Grand Elder and the Ice Palace Shuigu knew about the same, so Meng Yao didn't ask anymore. She nodded and said, If, and I'm saying if, Lin Yi's strength reached that level, would he be able to help me at the last moment? This, I'm not too sure. The Supreme Elder shook his head and said, But according to the rumors, even us peak late phase heaven rank and great perfection heaven rank experts can't get involved because our physiques aren't suitable. Going would just be throwing away our lives. This, Meng Yao was silent. What she wanted the most was for Lin Yi to help them at the last moment, but now it seemed that it wouldn't be possible. Even the Grand Elder couldn't interfere, let alone Lin Yi. On the other hand, Lin Yi smiled and didn't say anything. In fact, only Lin Yi knew that others couldn't. But he definitely could. Because Tagan Dragon could do it, he definitely could. Tagan Dragon had 5 elements and 5 elements, and Lin Yi had 7 elements. He had 2 more elements than Tagan Dragon, so Lin Yi wouldn't be a problem at the last moment. However, Lin Yi couldn't say this. This was a secret, and Lin Yi didn't want others to know too early. Tianchan knew, but Tianchan wouldn't say it. Lin Yi still trusted her, but he didn't trust the Grand Elder at all. Yao Yao, it's fine. I'll be there to cheer for you when the time comes. Lin Yi smiled and said, Okay, that's good. Meng Yao breathed a sigh of relief. In fact, she was just a little worried. She was relieved that Lin Yi said that. Meng Yao could vaguely guess what was going on. She also knew about Lin Yi's physique. She had also heard about Little 1 and Little 11, going to look for Sun Genie to heal Tagan Dragon. Tagan Dragon's physique was similar to Lin Yi's. So since Tagan Dragon was an important member of the future Heaven Island plan, Lin Yi should also be able to go. So there shouldn't be a problem. Of course, the Miss and Lin Yi were on the same side, but she didn't have any sense of belonging to the Palace of Darkness. She would never tell the Grand Elder about this. Since that's the case, when can you come with us? The Grand Elder looked at Meng Yao expectantly. Naturally, she wanted it to be as soon as possible, but she was afraid that Meng Yao wouldn't leave immediately. Today, let's go. Meng Yao took a deep breath and gritted her teeth. She had to leave sooner or later, and there was no point in staying here for a day or two. The Grand Elder also allowed her to contact Lin Yi and Shu. When Lin Yi and Shu missed her, they could go to the Palace of Darkness to visit her. She could also go to the Palace of Darkness to see her. So since Meng Yao had decided she'd leave tonight. Tonight? That's great. The Grand Elder was overjoyed after hearing Meng Yao's words. But, at this moment, there was a loud bang, and the villa's door was kicked open. The Grand Elder was too excited, and didn't notice the person outside. So when the door was kicked open, she froze. On the other hand, it was Lin Yi. He had felt someone coming earlier, but Lin Yi didn't know if it was for the Grand Elder or himself. However, the jade didn't warn him, which meant that there wasn't any actual danger. As expected, when Lin Yi saw their strength, he didn't put them in his eyes at all. An Earth-class late-phase peak, and a Sky-class mid-phase, they were nothing in Lin Yi's hands. The jade warned him based on actual danger, and if it wasn't a threat to him, the jade wouldn't warn him as his strength increased. This was a bit smart. Dongfang Song, go capture them. Naturally, it was Dongfang Burue. He brought Dongfang Song and broke into Lin Yi's villa to capture Su Shirhan. As far as he was concerned, everyone in the villa was from the common world, so he didn't put them in his eyes. But when Dongfang Burue, other than Su Shirhan, there were two super beauties on the sofa, and his eyes lit up. He called out to Dongfang Song, "Dongfang Song, we can't let these two go. Humph, I didn't get to have fun before. But this time I'm going to have fun, especially these two girls. I want to have sex 3 times in one night." Yes, young Master Burue Dongfang Song nodded. Since they were people related to Su Shirhan, even though Dongfang Jingxing had told him to cooperate with Dongfang Burue to capture Su Shirhan, he also said that he could deal with the people around Su Shirhan, so he'd capture them as well. This way, he wouldn't go against Dongfang Jingxing's wishes, and he wouldn't offend Dongfang Burue, why not? And so in the next moment, Dongfang Song grabbed towards Mengyao and Shirhan. As for the Grand Elder, Dongfang Song didn't care about it at all. In his eyes, she was just an old granny. Maybe she was the nanny of the villa. He was guarding against Lin Yi and the black-clothed elder. From what he could see, these two might be Su Shirhan's bodyguards, so Dongfang Song didn't hide his strength at all. His sky-class mid-phase strength was on full display. "What are you guys doing?" The Grand Elder saw that Dongfang Song was going to grab Mengyao, and she was enraged. Dongfang House is here to do something. Those who don't have anything to do with it, scram or die. Dongfang Song humphed coldly and said to the Grand Elder. In his eyes, the Grand Elder was the nanny of the villa, and the ignorant knew no fear. What? The Grand Elder was completely stunned. Fuck. Your Dongfang House was indeed stronger than the Dark Palace, that was undeniable. But even if they were stronger, they couldn't bully us over and over again. Earlier, I killed your elder Dongfang Cha, but I've already made a statement, because he captured the inheritor of the Dark Palace, and now you guys sent a sky-class mid-phase master to capture her. They didn't even put the Dark Palace and the inheritor in their eyes at all. If the inheritor was just from the Dark Palace, then it'd be fine, but this was related to the benefits of so many ancient sects. Your Dongfang House was too arrogant, wasn't it? Were they looking to die? Do you dare touch one of them? The Grand Elder's face was green as he said darkly. Chapter 3101. In Dongfang Song's eyes, the Grand Elder was just a mortal, and it didn't matter if he died. You're courting death. The Supreme Elder was about to go berserk. With your strength, you want to kill this old body? I'll send you to hell first. The Grand Elder's finger shook and slapped her waist, and a red silk flew towards Dongfang Song. Dongfang Song's eyes suddenly congealed, full of shock and disbelief. He seemed to understand something in an instant, but it was too late to dodge. Bang! The red silk hit Dongfang Song's body, and his whole body was sent flying. He crashed into the wall of the villa, twitched a few times, and then fell to the ground dead. Dongfang Burua was dumbfounded. Sky-class late-phase peak. How was this Su Shirhan so strong? How did she have a bodyguard like this? How was he supposed to capture her? A sky-class late-phase peak wouldn't do anything to him, right? It wouldn't kill him, would it? Your Dongfang Burua from the Dongfang family? The Grand Elder was furious, but she knew that some people could be killed and some couldn't. Dongfang Burua was the main culprit, but he was the only heir of the Dongfang family. If the Grand Elder killed him, then no matter what, the Dongfang family and the Dark Palace wouldn't rest until one of them was dead. So the Grand Elder didn't make a move and only asked, You don't kill me." Dongfang Burua shivered and took 2 steps back. He wanted to run, but he didn't dare. Your Dongfang family keeps trying to capture my inheritor. What's the meaning of this? Do you have some sort of special hobby? The Grand Elder was furious. Seeing that we're both in the ancient level, I'll let you go this time. I'll let you go. Dongfang is not weak, right? Go back and tell Dongfang Jinxing. Don't go too far. The inheritor of the Dark Palace is involved in the interests of the entire ancient level, and your Dongfang family is no exception. I hope you don't cause any trouble, or you'll be the enemy of the entire ancient level. This time, Dongfang Burua finally understood what was going on. This old lady wasn't a master hired by Su Shirhan, but someone who went to the villa to find an inheritor. It seemed like that inheritor was one of the 2 girls he wanted Dongfang to capture. Did Dongfang Cha die because of this? Not Weak felt the urge to cry. How unlucky was he? Su Shirhan could have stayed at anyone's house, but it had to be the inheritor's house. He hadn't even seen Meng Yao and Yushu before. Of course, they didn't know that Dongfang Cha had found them. In the end, he came to his door and wanted to capture him. It would be strange if the great elder of the Dark Palace wasn't angry. But this was a complete misunderstanding. I'm sorry. I'll leave now. Dongfang Boro cried out in his heart. However, there was nothing he could do. After all, even if he wanted to explain, he had to get the Grand Elder to believe him. Plus, he didn't reveal that he was here to deal with Su Shirhan. He was afraid that Su Shirhan would be alarmed and move away from here, and he wouldn't be able to find her next time. So Dongfang Burwa only apologized, and didn't even mention anything about Su Shirhan. Bring this corpse along. I don't want to see you again. The Great Elder waved his hand and said, Yes. Dongfang Burwa quickly picked up Dongfang Song's body and left the villa. The Great Elder shook his head as he watched Dongfang Burwa's departing figure. He sighed to himself. Even though he had spared Dongfang Burwa's life, he had now formed a grudge with the Dongfang clan. He wondered if the Dongfang clan would take this lying down. But killing one didn't matter, killing two didn't matter. He'd killed one, and he'd made enemies. Killing Dongfang Song in front of Meng Yao was also a way to prove to Meng Yao how important she was to the Great Elder. And in the future, Palace of Dark Palace wouldn't mistreat her. However, the Supreme Elder was incomparably astonished. The Dongfang clan didn't seem to be retarded or arrogant. I've already made an announcement, and they know that I'm here to look for an inheritor. Yet, Dongfang Burwa actually brought another person here to capture the inheritor. What's going on? Linny frowned as well. As far as he could see, the shock and helplessness on Dongfang Burwa's face wasn't an act. This kid wasn't that scheming. It seemed like Dongfang Burwa's target this time was Su Shirhan, and not Meng Yao and Yushu. As for the order to capture Meng Yao and Yushu, it was just a spur-of-the-moment decision, and the Great Elder misunderstood. He thought that House Dongfang was here to capture Meng Yao, and so another person from House Dongfang died. Come to think of it, House Dongfang was quite pitiful, losing quite a few people in a short period of time. The point was, someone else did it for Lin Yi before he could even make a move. This saved Lin Yi quite a bit of effort. At the very least, House Dongfang wouldn't notice him yet, and he could hide behind the scenes to protect Shirhan. What if House Dongfang sent out a Sky-class late phase, or peak late phase if he was exposed? That wasn't something Lin Yi wanted to see. Lin Yi's current strength wasn't enough to deal with a Sky-class late phase or higher. And so, with the Great Elder taking the blame, Lin Yi was more than happy to be at peace. Meng Yao, you've seen it for yourself. I made House Dongfang my enemy just to protect you, killing their practitioners. You should know how important you are to me now, right? The elder said to Meng Yao. Okay then, let's go. Meng Yao naturally knew that today's matter was a misunderstanding, because she knew about Shirhan's situation, but she didn't say much. After all, her relationship with the Palace of Darkness could only be a cooperative relationship. But I'm the Palace Master now, right? That's right. You are the new Palace Master of Darkness. The Great Elder nodded. Then I need to clarify, who's the Palace Master, or the Great Elder? Meng Yao looked at the Great Elder and asked. Naturally, the Palace Master is the Palace Master. In the Palace of Darkness, the Palace Master is the second most powerful person other than me. The Great Elder quickly said. Of course, this power was given by the Great Elder. And if she said that Meng Yao had the power, then she had it. The previous Palace Master, Wan wasn't even as powerful as a normal elder. But Meng Yao was going to rewrite history. How could the miss be bullied so easily? Chapter 3102. Oh, if that's the case, Hei Yi, you have a disciple named Zhao Qibing, right? Meng Yao turned to the elder and asked faintly. Yes, Palace Master. The elder sweated as he replied. He could tell that Meng Yao wasn't a pushover. Even the Grand Elder didn't dare mess with her. She was completely different from the Yi Wan from before. So the elder didn't dare to be slow. Oh, I don't like him. From tomorrow onwards, let him clean the toilets in the palace. Meng Yao said. The elder still had high hopes for Qibing, and he'd wanted Qibing to be his inheritor. He didn't want to be sent to clean the toilets just like that. He didn't want to. Hey Yi, you're not willing? The Miss face turned cold. Hey Yi, you don't want to be an elder anymore? If he doesn't want to clean, you clean with him. The Grand Elder panicked. He'd spent so much effort convincing Meng Yao, and now she was going back to the palace. What was she doing here? Did she want to die? Yes. Then let Qibing go clean the toilet. The black-clothed elder jumped in fright and quickly said, Okay. Meng Yao nodded, her face softening. As for Qibing, the Miss didn't like him for a long time, but she didn't bring it up to the Grand Elder. After all, punishing Qibing was a piece of cake for the Miss, who'd become the palace master of the Dark Palace. There was no need to bring it up. She only had one condition, and the Grand Elder had to agree to it whether he wanted to or not. If there were too many conditions, the Grand Elder would have to agree to one or two of them. Meng Yao couldn't do anything about the rest. This was the eldest Miss's cleverness. Of course, the Miss didn't kick Zhao Qibing out of the Palace of Darkness. This kid was too evil, and Meng Yao wanted to keep him under her eyelids. If he did anything reckless, she'd be able to find out immediately. She'd also be able to deal with him in different ways, so she could vent some of her anger. Then can we leave now? The Grand Elder asked. Missy nodded her head and looked at the villa reluctantly. With one last look, he smiled at Lin Yi, Shu, and Su Shirhan before turning around and walking out of the mansion. Goodbye, Meng Yao said in her heart. But I'll reach Sky Class late phase peak soon. At that time, I'll be in charge of the Palace of Darkness. At that time, no one will be able to stop me from returning. Yao Yao. Yushu's eyes were red, and she couldn't help but call out. Meng Yao's footsteps paused as she walked out of the villa. He turned around and looked at Shu. Shu, listen to me. I'm leaving, but I can still come back. In the future. Don't mess around anymore. Listen to Linny at home, do you hear me? Oh, Yushu nodded obediently. Linny, goodbye. Take care of Shu for me. I'll leave her to you. Meng Yao wanted to leave, but Shu stopped her. She turned around and looked at Linny. Her heart was filled with reluctance. This was the sadness of being separated from a loved one. At this moment, the Missy finally understood how much she missed Lin Yi, and how much she didn't want to leave him. I like him. Yes, I like him. Meng Yao's heart was set in stone at that moment. Most of the time, you only know how important something is after you lose it. So I do like him. Don't worry. Lin Yi nodded. Linny. Meng Yao gritted her teeth. After understanding her feelings, she didn't want to leave with any regrets. She wanted to tell Linny her feelings, but she couldn't bring herself to say it. At this moment, Meng Yao suddenly felt a little annoyed. Damn Shu, you're so good at normal times, but you always drop the ball at critical times. You can't say, oh, Yao Yao sis misses shield bro, and doesn't want to leave. At that moment, the Missy would nod shyly and say yes. But Shu didn't say it. Meng Yao really wanted to choke her to death. Huh. Linny looked at the Missy, who had a slight change in expression. He didn't know what was wrong with her. Drop the ball at critical times, Shu. Meng Yao glared at Yushu and stomped her feet. She turned around and prepared to leave. She couldn't say what was on her mind. The Missy was a shy person. Oh. Yushu didn't know what was going on. Why was Yao Yao scolding her when she was about to leave? What was going on? However, Yushu wasn't stupid. She knew Meng Yao better than Lin Yi. After all, they had lived together for so many years. Oh, Yao Yao sis, don't worry. I'll guard the door for you. I won't let anyone take away your position as the first wife. Lin Yi looked at Shu and felt strange. She was about to leave. Why was Shu still joking around? However, what surprised Lin Yi even more was yet to come. The Missy blushed and nodded lightly. She let out a soft voice. N. Lin Yi was stunned. Although Meng Yao's voice was soft, he was a Sky Class master. He heard her clearly. After a moment, Lin Yi's heart seemed to be touched by something. It turned out that the eldest Miss liked him. This N represented thousands of words. Lin Yi understood Meng Yao's feelings. Yao Yao. In Lin Yi's heart, it was impossible to say that he didn't like the Missy. They had been together for so long. Everyone had feelings. Moreover, they had experienced so much together. It was just that Lin Yi wasn't sure about the Missy's feelings in the past. Meng Yao smiled shyly and turned around. Before she left, she said softly, "Lin Yi, I like you." Meng Yao let go of the stone in her heart. At this moment, she felt much more relaxed. After she finished her sentence, she didn't look at Lin Yi. She quickly disappeared into the night. "Me too," Lin Yi said to Meng Yao's back. "I'll go and see you. Actually, I had a good impression of you when I first came to Songshan." Lin Yi's affirmation made Meng Yao very happy. However, she didn't stop. She was afraid that if she stopped, she wouldn't be able to walk anymore. When he first came to Songshan, didn't that mean that Lin Yi liked her earlier than Tang Yin? Meng Yao's heart was filled with happiness. It was as sweet as eating honey. Chapter 3103. And now she had to leave. Going to the Palace of Dark Nights, it'd be hard to see Lin Yi again. Although she and the Grand Elder had gotten their freedom, Meng Yao couldn't go out of the common world all the time. There was a limit to everything. And Meng Yao wasn't going to challenge the Grand Elder's mental limit just because of that. She could tell that the Grand Elder of the Palace of Dark Nights was different from the Snow Valley's Grand Elder. Although the Grand Elder had changed, the domineering mentality formed over the years wasn't something that could be changed easily. The Grand Elder didn't stop the words of love between Lin Yi and Meng Yao. Her attitude towards Meng Yao and Yi Won'er was completely different. It couldn't be helped. The two's personalities were different. Of course, the Grand Elder still looked down on Lin Yi. She thought that Lin Yi was only a freelancer, so she didn't say a word to Lin Yi since they came to Meng Yao's place. But Lin Yi didn't mind. As long as the Grand Elder treated Meng Yao well, it was fine. Lin Yi didn't care about anything else. To get along with someone like the Grand Elder, it was either someone like Meng Yao, controlling her in certain things, or someone stronger than her, like Mr. Yang back then. Mr. Yang. Actually, Lin Yi had his suspicions when Peng Zhan mentioned Mr. Yang. Just who was this Mr. Yang? How could he be so powerful that he didn't even put the Grand Elder, a sky-class late-phase peak, in his eyes? Of course, Lin Yi wouldn't link it to his master. After all, Lin Yi didn't know about his master and Lin Dongfang's achievements in the past. Lin Dongfang didn't mention these things to Lin Yi even once. If it weren't for Lin Dongfang's occasional display of dominance, which made Lin Yi feel that Lin Dongfang's strength wasn't normal, he wouldn't have thought of anything else. After all, these things were too foreign to Lin Yi. Oh, she was finally a small wife. Yushu said suddenly after Meng Yao left. Lin Yi was stunned by Yushu's words, but he understood what was going on. He couldn't help but smile bitterly. "Shu, Yao Yao is gone. Why are you still making a fuss?" "I'm leaving too," Yushu said weakly. Yushu's words reminded Lin Yi abruptly. Yushu was about to leave too in the blink of an eye. The people around him would leave one by one. Perhaps in the near future, they would meet again. Lin Yi was looking forward to the arrival of that day. After returning to the living room of the villa, Lin Yi sat on the sofa in silence. Everything was like a dream. Big Missy suddenly left just like that. There seemed to be something missing in the villa. Before Dongfang Burua was here to capture me, I didn't think he would drag Yao Yao into this. Shirhan was the first to break the silence. She felt that it was necessary to tell Lin Yi. "I've thought of that as well." Lin Yi smiled. Su Shirhan paused for a second. Yeah. If she thought of it, how could Lin Yi not think of it as well? It was Lin Yi who told her about her identity, and the fact that Dongfang House wanted to deal with her. This time they sent a Sky-class mid-phase master. The person they sent is a Sky-class mid-phase master. Next time they'll probably send someone even stronger. Won't that drag you down? Shirhan asked worriedly. "We can't ask the Grand Elder for help, can we?" Although Yao Yao went to the Dark Palace and is the new palace master, she still hasn't gotten a firm foothold yet. "I know, but we'll deal with it when it comes." Lin Yi was worried as well. This time, it would be best if Dongfang House just let it go. If they sent an even stronger master, Lin Yi really wouldn't be able to handle it. "I'm sorry. I caused you trouble," Shirhan said apologetically. "Haha, what are you saying? I'm your bodyguard. I'm paid to get rid of misfortune, that's the old saying." Lenny smiled nonchalantly, but in his heart, he was thinking that now that he was a sky-class master, he should find Han Jingjing one day to test it out and see if he could concoct the chi-gathering pill with her. If he could concoct the chi-gathering pill, then Lenny would be able to break through continuously. However, Han Jingjing seemed to be very busy recently. He told Han Xiaoqiao to tell Han Jingjing to contact him, but Han Jingjing hadn't called yet. It seemed like she was still in isolation. At night, Lenny went to his room to train, while Shirhan and Yushu went upstairs to rest. Dongfang Burua carried Dongfang Song's body back to the hotel. However, he did not dare to take the body out. Instead, he placed it in the trunk of his car. After driving the car back to the hotel, the first thing he did was call his father, Dongfang Jingsing. Burua, how is it? Is it done? From Dongfang Jingsing's perspective, with Dongfang Song, a sky-class mid-phase master, dealing with Shirhan was a piece of cake. Dad, he's dead. Dongfang Song. He's dead. Dongfang Burua said nervously. Even now he still hadn't calmed down. It could be seen that he was quite frightened. Dead. Dongfang Jingsing almost threw the phone away. How did Dongfang Song die? How did he die? Burua, what did you say? Shirhan's bodyguard was that strong? Even a sky-class mid-phase master like Dongfang Song was killed? Dad, no, it wasn't Shirhan's bodyguard, it was the Grand Elder of the Dark Palace. Dongfang Burua quickly said. Dark Palace? Grand Elder? What? She went to cause trouble for you again? Dongfang Jingsing was completely infuriated. Because Dongfang family was in the wrong, Dongfang Cha died. He didn't go to cause trouble for the Dark Palace immediately, but the Dark Palace shouldn't push their luck, right? Were they trying to kill them all or something? They lost another sky-class mid-phase master, and you killed him. Dad, it's not that we wanted to cause trouble for her. It's like this. This time, Dongfang Burua didn't dare hide it. After all, the Grand Elder might make another statement, and if he lied, it would be easy to see through him. So he just told the truth, and told Dongfang Jingsing that he didn't know Shirhan. Dongfang Burua's words made Dongfang Jingsing completely dumbfounded. You guys went to capture someone else's inheritor again? Then you really can't blame the Grand Elder of the Dark Palace. Is there anyone like you guys? Capture her once, and you want to capture her again? You're lucky we let you go this time. Chapter 3104. Never mind, it's not your fault. You can only blame the Grand Elder of the Dark Palace. If he had announced his identity earlier, all this wouldn't have happened. The people of Dongfang family were all like that. When something went wrong, they wouldn't blame themselves but blame others. Yeah, Dad, what should I do now? Dongfang Burua said unwillingly. Are we just going to let Su Shirhan's matter go? Let it go. How is that possible? Dongfang Jingsing didn't dare cause trouble for the Dark Palace, so he could only find trouble for Su Shirhan. This time, I will send a sky-class mid-stage peak master from the Dongfang family to help you. Actually, Dongfang Jingsing didn't want to send such a strong master, but the low-level masters were all dead. Now the Dongfang family only had 2 sky-class mid-stage peak, 2 sky-class late-stage peak, and 2 sky-class late-stage peak full perfection masters. Although the Dongfang family was strong, losing so many sky-class masters was a huge blow to them. They went from a top ancient power to a mid-level ancient power. Luckily, the top masters of the family were fine. Otherwise, Dongfang Jingsing would be crying. Okay, thank you Dad so much. Dongfang Burua was overjoyed. He didn't think that Dongfang Jingsing would support him this wholeheartedly. Of course, if Dongfang Jingsing knew that Dongfang Jian was killed by Linny in the beginning, and that Linny was Su Shirhan's bodyguard, he wouldn't send a sky-class mid-stage peak master out. That was suicide. However, Dongfang Jingsing needed to find a place to vent his anger. He couldn't touch the Dark Palace for now, but he could touch Su Shirhan. If some people didn't die, he wouldn't be able to calm his anger. Laney got a call from Fatty Lai not long after he returned to his room to rest. Hello Fatty Lai, what's up? Laney picked up the phone. Boss, the bank is asking for the debt. Fatty Lai smiled bitterly. Before, the company and House Lu both owed the bank a lot of money. Both the company and the Lu family owe the bank a lot of loans. Now, although the company can operate normally, there is no extra money to repay the loan. Once the loan is repaid, the operation of the company will definitely have a big problem. Oh, Lenny frowned after listening. He thought that there would be no other problems, since the company was running smoothly. He didn't expect to be in debt. Our business is booming now. Can't the bank give us some time? Even if the Liu family was greatly weakened. But the Wu family and the Sun family are both at the top of the secular world. Can't you just say hello? Boss, actually, the bank has been pressuring us for a while now, and I asked someone to extend the deadline. The bank saw that our business was improving, so they stopped pressuring us. But now they're under a lot of pressure. Fatty Lai said helplessly. If only he could think of something. He would naturally think of a way. Now that he really had no other way, he came to trouble Lenny. Alright, I got it. I will think of a way. Lenny nodded and said. After hanging up the phone, Lenny couldn't help but smile bitterly. It turned out to be a company. He wanted to earn some pocket money for himself. But now, he was the one who earned money for the company. But no matter what, Lenny had to think of a way. After all, the company was the hope of the orphanage, and while Xiaoke's indifference to Lin Yi, the biggest donor of the orphanage, irritated him quite a bit, but Lin Yi's other identity was that of a male thief. Originally, Lin Yi wanted to wait for Han Jingjing, but now Lin Yi had to call her. The phone rang for a while before it was connected. Han Jingjing's tired voice came from the other side. Lin Yi, big bro. Yeah, you're resting? Lin Yi heard Han Jingjing's voice, but he wasn't surprised. After all, Han Jingjing was in seclusion to study things. Sometimes, her days and nights would be reversed. It was normal for her to sleep early. No. What's the matter, Lin Yi, big bro? Han Jingjing asked. It's like this. If you're free, come to my villa. I have something to talk to you about. Lin Yi said. Oh, okay. I'll go tomorrow morning. I have something to do here. I'll go after I'm done. Han Jingjing said. Okay. Lin Yi nodded and hung up. Lin Yi planned to let Han Jingjing refine some more pills, and then increase her strength to Earth-class late-phase peak. He wanted to see if he could refine a qi-gathering pill with Han Jingjing. After the call with Han Jingjing, Lin Yi continued to condense the forging fire. Under Lin Yi's hard work, Lin Yi's control of the forging fire was getting better and better. Lin Yi believed that if he continued like this, he would be able to start refining the jade space in half a month. In the middle of the night, Lin Yi was concentrating on condensing the forging fire. Suddenly he heard footsteps. Lin Yi opened his eyes slightly and looked at the direction of his room. Shu. Lin Yi could tell that it was Shu. Shield bro, I can't sleep. Yushu was in her pajamas yawning. Miss Yao Yao. Lin Yi looked at Shu and was silent. To be honest, he missed Meng Yao. Although Meng Yao had only left for a few hours, the feeling in his heart was different. In the past, even if Lin Yi left for a long time, he would feel at ease knowing that the miss was at home. But now Lin Yi felt like he had lost something. Okay. Yushu nodded. I always thought that the one who left would be me, but I didn't expect it to be Yao Yao sis. Life is unpredictable, but maybe it's a good thing. Lin Yi smiled. You and Xiao Xiao are both inheritors now. If Yao Yao isn't, it'll be hard for her to stay with us in the future. So if you think from this perspective, it's a good thing. Yeah. Yushu nodded. Shield bro, it's getting late. I'm going to sleep. Okay. Lin Yi nodded. Looking at Yushu's lonely back, Lin Yi sighed. He could feel Yushu's sadness. A BMW sped from Yanjing to East Ocean City overnight. Although the girl driving the car was very tired, she still drove very fast. At 5 in the morning, the villa's doorbell rang. Lin Yi put away his forging fire and pushed the door open, only to see Han Jingjing standing at the doorway. Han Jingjing, however, looked indescribably haggard, as if she hadn't rested for many days in a row. Chapter 3105. Did you stay up late? Lin Yi opened the door of the villa and looked at Han Jingjing, his heart aching. Han Jingjing said that she wanted to make an invention to help him. It seemed like she had been working day and night, otherwise she wouldn't be like this. It's okay. Han Jingjing shook her head. Lin Yi bro, why are you looking for me so urgently? I want you to help me make some pills. and then I'll see if I can go to the Cultivator Trade Association to exchange for some money. As for House Lu and Fatty Lai, the bank is starting to chase them for debts again. I need to help them get some money, Linny explained. Although the Cultivator Trade Association had a rule that they could only barter normally, he believed that with Lin Yi's deterrence last time, and the relationship between Lin Yi and Ouyang, it shouldn't be a problem for him to bend the rules and exchange for some money. Okay, then let's start now. After Han Jingjing listened, she agreed readily. Wait, I'm a Sky Class early phase now. I'll raise your strength to Earth Class late phase peak, and see if you can successfully make a third-level pill, Lin Yi said. Okay. Han Jingjing nodded and entered the villa with Lin Yi. When they arrived at Lin Yi's villa, Han Jingjing sat on the side of the bed and reached out her hand. She was ready to start chanting. Lin Yi didn't hesitate and directly grabbed Han Jingjing's wrist and started chanting the third stage of the Art of Dragon Mastery. The third stage could also help others increase their strength, but the speed of improvement was incomparable to the second stage. When he helped Wu Qintian and the others increase their strength, Lin Yi hadn't practiced the third stage of the Art of Dragon Mastery yet. He still used the second stage to increase his strength, so he didn't waste much time. This time, Lin Yi was shocked to find out that Han Jingjing's strength soared from Earth Class early phase to Earth Class late phase peak in less than 2 hours. The speed of the third stage of the Art of Dragon Mastery was too overpowered. Han Jingjing's strength. It soared all the way to late Earth Class peak before stopping. It seemed that even the third level of the Art of Dragon Mastery couldn't break through the limits of one's own strength. It couldn't bring Han Jingjing to early Sky Class. However, Lin Yi was not surprised. This result was already very good. Big brother Lin Yi is so awesome. Jingjing is so satisfied. Han Jingjing's body was full of strength. He felt much more energized. The tiredness she felt when she entered the room was swept away. Puffed. Lin Yi looked at the blushing Han Jingjing. Her words could easily cause others to misunderstand and have their imaginations run wild. Amazing? Satisfied? He didn't know if Han Jingjing did it on purpose. Or was he trying to tempt her? Shall we start concocting pills now? Lin Yi asked. NN. Do you want to test the third-grade pills first? Or do you want to refine the pills for sale first? Han Jingjing asked. Let's try to refine a third-grade medicinal pill first. Lin Yi's pursuit of strength was far greater than his pursuit of money. Without money, he could think of other ways, but without strength, sometimes people would die. Okay. Han Jingjing nodded and said. In order not to waste materials, I will now simulate refining a third-grade medicinal pill. But this may not be accurate, because there is no real thing. It will still be a little off. And, as long as the simulation is successful, we can actually try it. Lin Yi nodded. Han Jingjing also nodded, and began to condense the alchemy fire. In an instant, a ball of alchemy fire leaped out of Han Jingjing's hand, and Han Jingjing's other hand was not idle. She clicked a few times on the tablet computer, and began to simulate refining pills, according to the time and temperature curve she summarized. And Lin Yi also began to urge the Heavenly Spring Rain Martial technique to cooperate with Han Jingjing. Because in theory Han Jingjing, who was at the peak of the late stage of Earth Class, was not enough to successfully refine a third-grade medicinal pill. Only the early stage of Heaven Class could have a certain chance of success. If she wanted to increase the success rate, her strength level must also be increased, and the early stage of Heaven Class was the lowest limit. However, even with Lin Yi's help, Han Jingjing's forehead was soon covered with a thin layer of sweat. The physical strength and true qi consumption of a third-grade medicinal pill and a second-grade medicinal pill could not be mentioned in the same breath. As time passed, Lin Yi and Han Jingjing were very nervous, looking forward to the moment of success. But what made Lin Yi nervous was that Han Jingjing's physical strength was quickly exhausted, and Lin Yi also began to show signs of exhaustion. Huff! Lin Yi and Han Jingjing sighed at the same time. Failed at the last crucial moment. Although Lin Yi was an early stage of Heaven Class, the Heavenly Spring Rain Martial technique was not the same as the Art of Dragon Mastery. Although Lin Yi's physical strength and true qi were enough to refine medicinal pills, The conversion rate of heavenly spring rain was not very high, and there was no lack of physical strength and true qi, which was not as good as the art of dragon mastery. So Han Jingjing finally failed. Moreover, she failed at the last crucial moment. In other words, if Lin Yi's strength was slightly higher, he could have succeeded. It still can't work. The simulation of refining the easiest recover pill has already failed, let alone this more complicated qi-gathering pill. Han Jingjing shook her head. It can't work, big brother Lin Yi. It's all because Jingjing's strength level is too low. If only it was a little higher. It's always big brother Lin Yi who brings Jingjing to level up. And Jingjing herself is a big idiot. Jingjing, don't say that, you've already done very well. Lin Yi suddenly blushed with shame. If Han Jingjing was an idiot, then there were not many smart people in the cultivation world since ancient times who could invent a scientific method of alchemy. Hey big brother Lin Yi, help Jingjing restore her physical strength and true energy. Jingjing will refine grade 1 and grade 2 pills for you, Han Jingjing said. Lin Yi nodded and began to quickly help Han Jingjing restore her physical strength and true energy. And refining grade 1 and grade 2 pills was much easier for Han Jingjing. Soon, all the materials in Lin Yi's hands were refined. These materials were given by Vice President Ouyang when he went to the Cultivator Trade Association's market last time. However, in theory, these materials could only refine about 10 pills. But in Han Jingjing's hands, it more than doubled, refining a total of 25 pills. This made Lin Yi sigh. Han Jingjing is really a genius girl. Jingjing Yao left. You still don't know about this matter, right? You were in seclusion at that time, so I didn't disturb you, Lin Yi said. Oh, where did she go? Han Jingjing was slightly surprised and asked. Chapter 3106. It's a pity that I couldn't say goodbye to her personally. But don't be sad, brother Lin Yi. She went to improve her strength. In fact, I also want to improve my strength as soon as possible to help brother Lin Yi, Han Jingjing said seriously. And Jingjing, if there's nothing else, you can go back. I won't disturb you. Alright, what are you researching? Lin Yi asked curiously. Han Jingjing had been in seclusion for a while, but Lin Yi didn't know what she was researching. It's related to alchemy. I'm sure it can help brother Lin Yi. You'll know when the time comes, Han Jingjing said mysteriously. Then, she suddenly smiled and blinked her eyes cutely. Actually, it's because I haven't succeeded yet. If I don't succeed, I'm afraid Shield Bro will laugh at me for being an idiot. How can that be? Lin Yi smiled. Then I won't ask. You should go back early. Han Jingjing nodded. It was getting late. She had to go back. Thinking about the things she had to do, Han Jingjing couldn't help but feel a headache. Lin Yi didn't expect Han Jingjing to leave so quickly. She didn't hesitate at all. She left Lin Yi's mansion and returned to her own mansion. Sister, you're back. Han Xiaoqiao was surprised to see Han Jingjing back. After all, he hadn't seen her for a while. Han Jingjing nodded. I still have things to do. You go first, Han Jingjing said, and didn't pay much attention to Han Xiaoqiao. She went straight upstairs. Lin Yi didn't stay idle either. He brought the elixirs that Han Jingjing had refined and headed to the Cultivator Trade Association. What he wanted to do was to wait until the experts from the Dongfang family arrived. He went to the Cultivator Trade Association to sell the elixirs in his hands and exchange them for some money. When Dongfang Bourgeois came looking for trouble, Lin Yi would go back. However, Lin Yi had underestimated the enthusiasm of the masters from the Dongfang family. He didn't come this morning, but took a plane to East Ocean City last night. There was actually a reason why this expert from the Dongfang family was so proactive. It was because he was the younger brother of the deceased Dongfang Jian, and his name was Dongfang Hard. Dongfang Chang came this time to help Dongfang Bourgeois deal with Su Shihan. But the first thing he did was not find Dongfang Bourgeois. Instead, he went to the Cultivator Trade Association to investigate the cause of his brother's death. Of course, this was something that Dongfang Jinxing had tacitly agreed to. After all, Dongfang Jinxing also wanted to know how Dongfang Jian had died. Moreover, Dongfang Hao also wanted to go to the Cultivator Trade Association to see if he could buy medicinal ingredients for Dongfang Burwa's cultivation. Lin Yi smoothly entered the Cultivator Trade Association's market square. He dialed Vice President Ouyang's number. Mr. Ling. Vice President Ouyang picked up the phone a little surprised. After Lin Yi killed a master from the Dongfang family, he still dared to call him? Although he withstood the pressure and hid it well, paper can't cover fire. That day, Vice President Ouyang wasn't the only one at the scene. Although the others were all solo cultivators. Even if they were solo cultivators, what if the Dongfang family came looking for them? It's me, Vice President Ouyang. I'm at the Cultivator Trade Association's market square. Are you there? I have something to talk to you about. Lin Yi said. Yes, I'm in the office. You can come find me directly. Vice President Ouyang said. Lin Yi brought the medicinal pills and came to Vice President Ouyang's office with ease. Vice President Ouyang, how have you been? Mr. Ling, you're here. Vice President Ouyang stood up and smiled at Lin Yi. May I know why Mr. Ling is here this time? Vice President Ouyang, I have some finished medicinal pills in my hands. Can you do me a favor and help me exchange some money? I'm a little short of money recently. As Lin Yi spoke, he put all the medicinal pills he brought on Vice President Ouyang's desk. Vice President Ouyang's face suddenly became a little ugly. Looking at the medicinal pills that Lin Yi put on the table, he didn't know how to explain to Lin Yi. What's wrong? Lin Yi was slightly stunned. Vice President Ouyang, do you have any difficulties? Mr. Ling, to tell you the truth, our Cultivator Trade Association has just sent a notice, and it was personally issued by the great honorary president. We are not allowed to sell medicinal pills privately. All our medicinal pills will be exclusively supplied by the Heavenly Elixir sect in the future. Vice President Ouyang said with some difficulty. Although I also have a backer in the Cultivator Trade Association, I can't disobey the great honorary president's words. Heavenly Elixir sect? Lin Yi was suddenly a little puzzled. Don't they refine high-level medicinal pills? They also want to occupy the market for level 1 and level 2 medicinal pills? I'm not sure what's going on. Suddenly, Elder Kong from the Heavenly Elixir sect came to our Cultivator Trade Association to cooperate. They are responsible for providing a large number of level 1 and level 2 medicinal pills to us, and they signed an agreement with the great honorary president to exclusively supply medicinal pills to us. Vice President Ouyang explained, so I hope Mr. Ling can forgive us. Elder Kong. Lin Yi frowned and immediately thought of Kong Ming. This kid wanted to cut off his source of wealth, but how did he know that he came here to sell medicinal pills? Could it be that he sent someone to investigate? But what was his purpose in doing this? At most, this would cut off his source of wealth, but it would not hurt his foundation. This would at most disgust him. Could it be that it was to disgust him? In this way, Lin Yi could not help but admire Kong Ming. He actually had such great ability to influence the decision of the Heavenly Elixir sect, and let the alchemists of the Heavenly Elixir sect refine so many level 1 and level 2 medicinal pills in large quantities. How much manpower and material resources did it take? Moreover, although these level 1 and level 2 medicinal pills did not seem cheap, compared with level 3 medicinal pills, it was really a world of difference. Lin Yi could not imagine that the entire Heavenly Elixir sect would waste the physical strength and true chi of the alchemists to refine these garbage just to disgust him. Was there something wrong with their heads? Yes, it is Elder Kong. He is a newly promoted elder of the Heavenly Elixir sect. It is said that his words in the Heavenly Elixir sect carry a lot of weight. Vice President Ouyang said, so Mr. Ling, I hope you will not make things difficult for me. I have no other choice. Chapter 3107. Thinking of this, Lin Yi could only say, then there's no other way. Let's cooperate again in the future. Yes. You also know that although our Cultivator Trading Association is not afraid of the Heavenly Elixir sect, we don't want to offend a powerful ancient sect because of such a small matter. This is not in line with our interests. And no matter how strong Mr. Ling is, he is only one person. Unless Mr. Ling can come up with enough background or enough benefits, It will be impossible to make our great honorary president change his mind. Vice President Ouyang said. After all, we are businessmen. Businessmen pursue profits. In addition to background, if the benefits are enough, we don't care about the Heavenly Elixir sect. It's just that the elixirs provided by the Heavenly Elixir sect, in terms of quality and price, are no weaker than yours, Mr. Ling, so I can't help you. I understand. As for reducing the price, Linny did not think about it. After all, Han Jingjing was very busy now, and did not have a lot of time to refine elixirs. If the elixirs were sold at a cheaper price, Linny would not be able to make much profit. This kind of business was not long-term, so Linny was too lazy to let Vice President Ouyang fight for it. He just changed the topic and asked, "Excuse me, how is the matter with the Dongfang family? Have they sent anyone to ask about it? The Dongfang clan only asked me once through our president. However, I said that it was because a member of their clan had a conflict with someone when they were buying medicinal ingredients, causing the elder of the Dongfang clan to be beaten to death. However, the murderer ran very quickly, so we didn't see what he looked like." Vice President Ouyang said. "Mr. Ling, at present, it is only the president who is pressuring me. I can still help you cover it up. But if it is the great honorary president who asks about it, I can't do anything." "I understand." Lenny nodded. "In this case, thank you, Vice President Ouyang. Wow, it turns out that you are in cahoots with each other. My brother died so miserably." While Lenny and Vice President Ouyang were talking, Dongfang Hao rushed in. He was here to investigate the cause of Dongfang Jian's death. Of course, he was also a cautious person. He didn't ask anyone he met. Instead, he used his divine sense and mental strength to sense what the other people in the Cultivator Trade Association market were talking about. When he suddenly heard Vice President Ouyang and Lin Yi's conversation, he was instantly enraged and rushed over with a ferocious expression. The other party was an expert at the peak of the middle stage of heaven rank. Lin Yi's strength was lower than his, so it was difficult for him to sense his existence. Only when he revealed his strength did he realize that something was wrong. Boom! A loud sound rang out. Vice President Ouyang's office door was kicked open. Dongfang Hao appeared in front of them. "Who are you?" Vice President Ouyang frowned. He had naturally heard what Dongfang Chang had said earlier, and he could vaguely guess what was going on. He just didn't dare to confirm it. "Who am I?" "I am the brother of the deceased Dongfang Jian, Dongfang Jiang. So it was you two who colluded with each other to kill my brother. Today, all of you must die." Dongfang Chang sneered and started chanting. A pair of pitchforks appeared in his hands. Obviously, it was his heaven-ranked divine weapon. Laney immediately frowned. He could indeed kill an expert at the peak of the middle stage of heaven rank, but that was based on a sneak attack when the opponent wasn't paying attention. Now the expert in front of him was going all out, and even took out a heaven-ranked divine weapon. This made Lenny nervous. If he said that he was confident, he would be bragging. Therefore Lenny shouted, "Vice President Ouyang, let's attack together. Otherwise both of us will die today." Vice President Ouyang's expression suddenly changed. He could see that the person in front of him was very fierce. Dongfang Chang might have heard what he said before. Although he didn't kill Dongfang Jian, Dongfang Chang obviously didn't care. He regarded him as an accomplice of Lin Yi, and was prepared to kill him together. After hesitating for a moment, Vice President Ouyang also knew that today's matter wouldn't end peacefully. Hence, he didn't stay any longer. He stretched his hand out from under his desk, and a huge saber appeared in his hands. This was his heaven-ranked divine weapon. The huge saber glowed with a dark blue light, and was clearly a top-grade divine weapon. Vice President Ouyang's cultivation technique was of the water element, and he had an elder of the second honorable president with him. Hence, the weapon in his hands definitely wouldn't be inferior. Just as Vice President Ouyang took out the blue blade, Dongfang Chang had already moved. His hands slightly shook and suddenly, a woo-woo sound came from the pitchfork. It was as if it came from the depths of hell. A terrifying killing intent leaped out. That terrifying killing intent seemed to have materialized along with the sound, as it was transmitted towards Lin Yi and Vice President Ouyang. "Not good. Don't listen." Lin Yi's jade pendant suddenly transmitted a strong warning signal. Lin Yi knew that there was a problem with the sound and shouted at Vice President Ouyang. When Vice President Ouyang heard the sound, he was slightly stunned. His eyes had already become sluggish. At this moment, when he was shouted at by Lin Yi, he immediately sobered up and cold sweat appeared on his forehead. The sound of the pitchfork was like a demonic sound. It instantly confused Vice President Ouyang's mind. This was a method that could affect the mind of others. If it wasn't for Lin Yi's reminder, he might have already become a ghost under Dongfang Chang's pitchfork. Although this matter was caused by Lin Yi and Dongfang Jian was killed by Lin Yi, Vice President Ouyang was still very grateful to Lin Yi. After all, Dongfang Chang didn't care so much. In his eyes, Vice President Ouyang was also a participant and would die without a doubt. A puny heaven rank early stage was actually able to see through my demonic sound. Not bad. However, with the strength of the two of you, it is impossible for you to join hands and kill my big brother. Tell me, who else is your accomplice? I can give you a quick death and save you from being tortured. Dongfang Chang coldly snorted and arrogantly asked. If you want to know, then you'll have to beat us first. Lin Yi didn't give Dongfang Chang a chance to speak. The Fushi 9 needles in his hand shot towards Dongfang Chang. Dongfang Chang's face suddenly became very ugly. He didn't think that Lin Yi would dare to take the initiative and ruin his plan. Chapter 3108. But because of this, Dongfang hard lost his patience. He raised his pitchfork and leaped towards Lin Yi. He could see that although Lin Yi was a heaven rank early stage expert, he was stronger than Vice President Ouyang and was able to see through his plans several times. Therefore, he decided to get rid of Lin Yi first before getting the truth out of Vice President Ouyang's mouth. Brat, you're courting death. Dongfang hard waved his pitchfork and blocked Lin Yi's Fushi 9 needles. With Lin Yi's heaven rank early stage strength, he had no advantage against Dongfang hard, who was at the peak of heaven rank mid stage. On the other hand, Vice President Ouyang's blue saber was extremely fierce. After Lin Yi made his move, Vice President Ouyang also made his move. The blue saber and the pitchfork collided, creating a thunderous sound. Dongfang hard was actually pushed back a step, but Vice President Ouyang was in a much more miserable state. He was pushed back 4 or 5 steps and almost fell to the ground. Lin Yi did not delay. Taking advantage of the fact that Dongfang hard had yet to recover, he suddenly activated the 9th style of Raging Fire 8 trigrams palm and smashed it towards Dongfang hard. However, Dongfang hard was already on guard against Lin Yi. Seeing Lin Yi's martial skill coming towards him, he subconsciously dodged to the side. Although he didn't think that a heaven rank early stage expert like Lin Yi would be able to cause much damage to him, he didn't want to be injured. What he didn't expect was that he actually dodged correctly. When he saw Lin Yi's martial skill, he was a little dumbfounded. This was equivalent to the 15th style of heaven rank martial skill. If this hit his body, he would either die or be seriously injured. But how could Lin Yi use such a powerful martial skill? Until now, Dongfang hard finally understood. His brother was really killed by Lin Yi. There was no need for anyone else to do anything. He had probably already fallen into Lin Yi's trap. Even so, half of Dongfang hard's body was still burning with pain after being swept by Lin Yi's Raging Fire 8 trigram palm. His meridians had also suffered heavy internal injuries, causing Dongfang hard to be extremely angry. Demonic tuning fork. Kid, die. At the same time Dongfang Hao shouted, the 2 steel forks in his hands once again emitted a woo-woo-woo sound, causing Lin Yi's mind to be distracted. It was as if his entire body was in a strange illusion. However, Lin Yi was already on guard against Dongfang Hao's tuning forks. At the same time the tuning forks sounded, Lin Yi also roared loudly. Dark Demon Hell Fist. Lin Yi's voice was very loud, using his voice to cover up the sound of the tuning fork. Since you want to play dirty tricks with me, I'll give it to you. I'll accompany you then. Lin Yi thought. Dongfang Hao was using the demonic tuning fork with all his might. He didn't dare to fight Lin Yi head-on now. That move just now had already made him a little afraid, so he was prepared to let Lin Yi lose his mind before making a move. But he didn't expect that. Linny shouted loudly. He didn't know what he was calling for. But not only did Linny not lose his mind, he even threw a punch. Dongfang Hao was using the demonic tuning fork with all his might. It was too late to dodge. Fortunately, he saw that the power of Lin Yi's punch was not as strong as before. He was confident that he could take it head-on, so he didn't mind. At this moment, Lin Yi was gritting his teeth. This was the last fight. The Raging Fire 8 Trigram Palm's 9th form had almost drained all of Lin Yi's physical strength, but it didn't do anything to Dongfang Hao. So, Lin Yi could only use another ultimate move that he learned from Zhang Naipeo. But what surprised Lin Yi was that Dongfang Hao didn't dodge. Instead, he wanted to take it head-on. This time, Dongfang Hao was 100% sure. A beam of red light shot out from Lin Yi's fist, directly entering Dongfang Jiao's mind. In the next moment, Dongfang Jiao didn't even have time to react before he felt an endless sea of fire surging towards him. He could even feel the waves of heat, and he subconsciously let out a scream, his eyes filled with shock. Vice Chairman Ouyang, kill him. After activating the Raging Hell Fist, Lin Yi sat on the ground with a thud. He had used up all the strength in his body, and he couldn't use any more moves. He couldn't even stand up. Vice Chairman Ouyang paused. Although he didn't understand what was going on with Dongfang Hao, he still followed Lin Yi's instructions and slashed at Dongfang Hao's head. But Vice Chairman Ouyang was a step too slow and missed the best opportunity. Dongfang Hao had already woken up from the sea of hellfire and returned to reality. He often used these demonic realms and illusions to trick people. And now that he had been tricked by Lin Yi, he was able to quickly wake up, but his heart was filled with shock. He finally knew that his big brother's death wasn't undeserved. Even he himself was almost done for. Swoosh! The sharp blue sword slashed down from the right side of Dongfang Hao's head, directly slicing off half of his eye and the entire ear, as well as the side of his skull. You're from the Everyday and Everyday sect. Dongfang Hao glared at Lin Yi with hatred. He didn't want to fight anymore and flew out of Ouyang's office, disappearing in a flash. Although Dongfang Hao was seriously injured, one of his eyeballs was destroyed, and his head was also severely injured. It wasn't enough to kill a peak heaven-ranked middle-stage expert. However, he couldn't continue fighting, and he was already afraid of Lin Yi. If Lin Yi used another demonic hell fist, as long as he was distracted for a moment, he would definitely die. And so Dongfang Hao ran away. Revenge, of course, but that was against the Everyday and Everyday sect. He didn't care about this person in front of him anymore. The monk could run, but the temple couldn't. Most importantly, the Dongfang House and the Everyday and Everyday sect had a deep grudge against each other. Dongfang Jian could be said to be nothing, but Dongfang Belu was the most outstanding member of the younger generation of the Dongfang House. And now that he had died in the hands of the Everyday and Everyday sect, would the Dongfang House just let it go? When Dongfang Hao heard Lin Yi say demonic hell fist, he didn't suspect anything at all. It wasn't a secret that Dongfang Belu had died to Naipeo's demonic hell fist, and Dongfang Hao was also a practitioner of a similar art. He had studied the demonic hell fist before, and it was very similar to what he had experienced just now. This was also why he was certain that Lin Yi was from the Everyday and Everyday sect. Chapter 3109. He wanted the Dongfang family to blame Dongfang Jian's death on the Everyday and Everyday sect. Mr. Ling, this Dongfang Hao is not a simple person. His methods are incredible. Even with our combined efforts, we still couldn't catch him. If he managed to escape, I'm afraid that our plan has already been exposed. Vice President Ouyang said worriedly. I'm fine. He thinks I'm from the Everyday and Everyday sect, but I'm worried about you. Lin Yi said. Hee, Mr. Ling, you don't have to worry about me. He's only here once. When he gets back, he'll understand that I was merely pressured by the Everyday and Everyday sect and didn't tell the truth. The Dongfang family won't dare to clash with our Cultivator Trade Association. It's not like I don't have a backer. Vice President Ouyang said nonchalantly. That's good. Lin Yi nodded. Then I'll take my leave first. I need to go back and prepare. Okay, Mr. Ling, you be careful too. Vice President Ouyang and Lin He had established a friendship during the battle. The two of them were now on the same side. Vice President Ouyang was afraid of Lin Yi at first, but now, it was more like a concern between friends. Thank you. Lin Yi nodded gratefully. He felt that Vice President Ouyang was a good person. If there was a chance in the future, he could cooperate with him. Without saying much, Lin Yi left Vice President Ouyang's office and prepared to return to the villa. The arrival of Dongfang Chang made Lin Yi feel a sense of crisis. If the other party didn't use a heaven-grade weapon, then Lin Yi's chances of winning were very high. However, once the other party used a heaven-grade weapon, Lin Yi's advantage would be gone. Lin Yi swore to become a blacksmith as soon as possible. He believed that only by successfully refining a weapon that matched the art of dragon mastery could he regain his previous advantage. However, the fact that the Heavenly Elixir sect had cut off Lin Yi's source of income from elixirs made Lin Yi very unhappy. Kong Mingming was really a haunting ghost. He could jump out at any time to mess things up. Thinking of this, Lin Yi directly called Kong Mingming. Oh, wasn't that Lin Yi? Why did you call me? Kong Mingming pretended to be curious. In fact, he knew very well that once Lin Yi knew that the Cultivator Trade Association would no longer purchase his pills, he would definitely call to question him. Kong Mingming, are you so bored that your balls hurt? If you have time, why don't you refine a qi gathering pill for me? It seems like you're very energetic to refine a level 1 or level 2 pill. Lin Yi asked coldly. When are you going to give me my qi gathering pill? You're talking about the Cultivator Trade Association. I didn't refine it. It's the Heavenly Elixir sect's business changes. I'm just the spokesperson. Kong Mingming said. I did this to nurture a batch of alchemists. The purpose of doing this was to nurture a batch of alchemists. They couldn't possibly throw away the first and second grade dawn that they refined, right? We found the Cultivator Trade Association to cooperate with. Because the supply price is relatively low, we want to be the exclusive supplier. You can't blame me for this. This is how the market is. Just like when our Miracle Dr. Kong company went bankrupt, because of your Miracle Dr. Guan company. We couldn't do anything about it. We couldn't do anything about it either. Is that so? Lin Yi was speechless at Kong Mingming's words. It was clearly a sophistry, but Lin Yi couldn't do anything to Kong Mingming because of this. After all, this was a normal competition. Lin Yi, if he wanted to turn this round, he could only use a similar method. At least, Lin Yi couldn't go against the Heavenly Elixir sect openly. After all, the young master of the Heavenly Elixir sect had helped him once. Lin Yi couldn't be ungrateful, right? Even Lin Yi was puzzled. What was the relationship between him and the young master of the Heavenly Elixir sect? Why would the young master suddenly help him? But no matter what, Lin Yi could only find other ways to earn money. The path of selling pills wouldn't work. Lin Yi returned home with the pills. Su Shirhan was practicing singing in the living room. Yushu was sitting on the sofa in a daze. She didn't have the usual joy. Shu, what are you doing? Lin Yi walked into the living room and asked curiously. Oh, Shield bro, you are back. I was worried. Yao Yao sis went to the Dark Palace. I don't know how she is. She didn't call home. Yushu sighed and said unhappily. She should be fine. She didn't call. Maybe she hasn't finished the handover. Let's wait. Lin Yi comforted. In fact, Lin Yi was also worried. Okay. Yushu nodded. Shirhan and I are recording a song for Yao Yao sis. Shirhan sang a record for Yao Yao sis. We're going to send it to Yao Yao sis. Okay, you guys continue. I'm going back to practice. Lin Yi's strength had just recovered. He still had to think of a countermeasure. Dongfang Hao alone had already caught him off guard. If a few stronger masters from the Dongfang family appeared, Lin Yi really wouldn't know what to do. Just as Lin Yi guessed, Meng Yao had arrived at the Dark Palace today. But she had a lot of things to do. When the Grand Elder asked when Meng Yao was going to hold the ceremony, the mist didn't answer his question. Where's my mom? Ugh. The Grand Elder didn't expect Meng Yao to ask this. As soon as she arrived at the Dark Palace, he answered, Palace Master Wunner is currently in the courtyard at the back of the mountain. That's where you will be staying from now on. Then why don't you bring me there? If I'm not happy, I'll just go back. Meng Yao said. Please. The Grand Elder had no choice but to bring Ming Yao to see Yi Wan'er first. As for the way back, she had already arranged to receive the inheritor. The ceremony could only be postponed by the black-clothed elder. As for Ming Yao, the Grand Elder had seen her quite clearly on the way here. She had the temperament of a young miss, and she wouldn't argue with you if things didn't go her way. She'd just keep quiet. And the Grand Elder had no choice but to compromise. If Ming Yao had been brought back when she was young, this wouldn't have happened. Now that Ming Yao's temper was out, how could he expect her to work for the Dark Palace without any regrets? The obvious possibility? No. Chapter 31:10. Where's that bitch Yi Wan'er? The Grand Elder was getting annoyed. She grabbed a disciple on duty and barked. She wanted Ming Yao to see Yi Wan'er as soon as possible and go to the welcoming ceremony. But now the more anxious she was, the more she didn't see Yi Wan'er. Naturally she was annoyed. Elder Yi went to the welcoming ceremony, she's not here. The disciple said quickly. Oh. The Grand Elder nodded and was about to tell Ming Yao that her mother had gone to the ceremony, so she should go too. She'd be able to see her when she saw Ming Yao's murderous gaze. She jumped up. Miss, what's wrong with you now? The Grand Elder was getting a little scared on the way, but for the future of the Dark Palace, she had to endure it. This inheritor didn't listen to her, so she could only pacify her. Who are you calling a bitch? You old bitch. Ming Yao glared at the Grand Elder. Ugh. What I meant was, why isn't Yi Wan'er coming out to see people? She's seeing people, not bitch. The Grand Elder quickly explained. Ming Yao humphed coldly, lead the way. All right. The Grand Elder wiped the cold sweat off his forehead. Thank goodness Ming Yao didn't hold it against him. Otherwise, there'd be no end to this. Yi Wan'er's emotions were very complicated and perturbed. She didn't know that the new palace master was her daughter Ming Yao. She was still worried about Ming Yao, because the Grand Elder said that she was going to kill Ming Yao before she left, and she didn't say who the inheritor was. How could she not be worried? Miss Wan'er, don't worry. The little miss is blessed by the heavens. She'll be fine. Maybe the Grand Elder found an inheritor, and he'll be so happy that he'll let the little miss go. Elderly said. Really? Wan'er sighed. Although Elderly said so, she was still very worried. She knew the highest elder's temper. He would do what he said. But just as Yi Wan'er was worried, there was a burst of cheers. It was the new palace master, the heir of the Dark Palace. Everyone followed their rehearsal and clapped. The Dark Palace welcomes the new palace master. Wan'er stiffly raised her head. However, when she saw the face of the palace master of trust, she was completely dumbfounded. Wasn't this Ming Yao? Although Wan'er had never met Chu Ming Yao before, the black-clothed elder still remembered her. When she was in charge of the Dark Shadow Group, she'd brought back a picture of Ming Yao. She looked exactly like Ming Yao when she was young. She didn't expect Ming Yao to come to the Palace of Darkness and become the new palace master. So Yao Yao didn't die. She didn't get killed by the highest elder. She was the heir, the new palace master of darkness. But while Wan'er was happy for Ming Yao, she was also worried. It was good that Ming Yao wasn't dead, but entering the Palace of Darkness wasn't a good thing. Without freedom, although she was the palace master, she was restricted by the highest elder. She wasn't even as powerful as a normal elder. But overall, Wan'er was still a little happy. Ming Yao followed the highest elder up the stage, but she didn't make any speech or anything. She only looked at the highest elder and asked, Where's my mom? This, Palace Master Yao Yao. Let's proceed with the inauguration ceremony first. After the ceremony is over, you will have plenty of time to reunite with your mother. Look, there are so many elders waiting down there. The highest elder quickly said, I'm asking you, where's my mom? Ming Yao's voice was cold. Am I the palace master or are they the palace masters? The palace master asked the elders to wait a little longer. Is there a problem? Of course there's no problem. In this palace of darkness, other than me, you're the most powerful. The highest elder quickly said, Yi Wan'er, what are you waiting for? Get on the stage. Can't you be a little nicer? Ming Yao humphed dissatisfied. My little miss, My attitude is good enough. The highest elder was speechless, but she was the most powerful person in the Palace of Darkness. No matter what she said, the elders wouldn't dare say anything. If Mengyao wanted to do it first, then so be it. Below the stage, Yi Wan'er widened her eyes in shock. Her face was filled with disbelief. Mengyao dared to go against the highest elder? And to talk to the highest elder in that tone. The most amazing thing was that the highest elder wasn't angry at all. He even called Mengyao Little Miss. What was going on? The eyes of Elder Li, who was beside Yi Wan'er, also flashed with a strange light and hope. It seemed that Little Miss' personality was completely different from Miss. It seemed like she had the highest elder in the palm of her hand. The other elders all understood one thing. The previous head of the Dark Palace was just a decoration. But from today onwards, the new head would be the second most powerful person after the Grand Elder. If Mengyao wanted to kill someone, they had no doubt that the Grand Elder would agree with her. Let my mom look for me on the stage. Do you have any sense of seniority? I should be the one going down to look for my mom. With that, Mengyao got off the stage and walked towards Wan'er. Mengyao saw Wan'er as well. Her eyes were shining with tears of excitement. Mengyao hadn't seen her mother since she was young. But the moment she saw Wan'er, she was sure that this was her mother, because her appearance was very, very similar to his. Mom! Mengyao couldn't help but run over and jump into Yi Wan'er's arms. She couldn't stop the tears from flowing down her cheeks. Mengyao had dreamed of reuniting with her mother for so many years, but she didn't think that they'd be separated after reuniting. Wan'er was about to leave, and Mengyao was going to stay. Yao Yao, my daughter, I finally get to see you. Wan'er cried 2 tears of joy. For reuniting with Mengyao, for Mengyao's strength. She knew that Mengyao wouldn't be at a disadvantage in the Palace of Darkness in the future. She was the true palace master. She was completely different from a puppet palace master. Mom, no one will bully you anymore. You can go back and reunite with Daddy. Whoever dares to stop you, I'll kill him first. Mengyao said. Chapter 31:11. When Qibing saw Mengyao, he was dumbfounded. He never would have thought that Mengyao would be able to become the palace master of the Dark Palace. He thought that Mengyao and Lin Yi were dead. But as shocked as he wasn't too afraid. After all, in the Dark Palace, it was the Grand Elder who had the final say, not the palace master. And so, Qibing changed his mind. He wanted to get close to the Grand Elder, and sow discord between them. He wanted Mengyao's position in the Dark Palace to plummet, even higher than Yi Wan'er's position. Qibing believed that with his abilities, it wouldn't be too hard to do this. But who would have thought that things weren't as he'd imagined? Mengyao, the palace master, seemed to be extremely powerful. And even the Grand Elder had to be afraid of her. This made Zhao Qibing very worried. And when Mengyao said that she'd kill anyone who tried to stop Yi Wan'er, Zhao Qibing was so scared that he wet his pants. He couldn't help but be scared. He only realized now that the Dark Palace was Mengyao's turf. A new era had come, and the days where the Grand Elder had the final say were long gone. Now Mengyao's appearance meant that she, Mengyao, had the final say in the Dark Palace. Even the Grand Elder had to respect Mengyao's opinion, lowering his voice when Mengyao yelled at him. Qibing wanted to jump out and stop her. He wanted to make Mengyao and Lin Yi unhappy, but now, he could only stay silent, unless he wanted to die. Go back. Yi Wan'er paused after hearing Mengyao's words. If I go back, what will you do here? How lonely will it be? It's fine, Mom. No one dares to bully me in the Dark Palace, right? Grand Elder? Mengyao turned to the Grand Elder. Of course, whoever dares to bully the palace master, I'll be the first to take his life. The Grand Elder quickly said. If that's the case, I can accept the inheritance and cultivate with peace of mind. Mother, you should be relieved too, right? The Grand Elder had already expressed his attitude. So Mengyao naturally couldn't just sit back and do nothing. She had to respond, hinting to the Grand Elder that she could only train in peace after Yi Wan'er left. Firstly, she had promised the Grand Elder that she would train, and secondly, it was also a hint to the Grand Elder. Only Yi Wan'er left. Only then would she obediently cultivate. Wan'er looked at the High Elder in astonishment. She hadn't expected the High Elder to say something like that. It seemed that his daughter was much stronger than him. In the future in the Dark Palace, he couldn't afford to lose out. Then, I'll go back and take a look. When I miss you in the future, I'll bring your father to visit you again, Yao Yao. Yuaner actually wanted to go back as well. Since Meng Yao was fine, she really wanted to go back. Well, you can come anytime. If it's not convenient, I can go and visit you. After all, it's a bit far, and I'm afraid it'll be inconvenient for you guys. Meng Yao said, Daddy's just a normal person, he can't handle it. That's fine. I'll send a car to pick them up. The Grand Elder said quickly. She was afraid that Meng Yao would delay her training if she went back to Donghai, so she'd rather send someone to pick up Yuaner and Pengzhan. That's still a long journey, right? The eldest young miss thought for a moment and asked, Is there a cultivation method that is suitable for Daddy to cultivate and is easier to do? After all, Pengzhan was old, and he wasn't a practitioner, but Meng Yao wanted him to live a long life, so how could he let go of this opportunity? About this, Yuaner, you can go to the library later and see if there's anything suitable. The Grand Elder said. Thank you, Grand Elder. Yuaner was pleasantly surprised. She didn't think that her life would be filled with hope all of a sudden, all because of her daughter. What are you thanking me for? I'm the palace master of the Dark Palace, and you're my mother, as well as the previous palace master. What's the difference between the palace of Dark Palace and our own? Meng Yao said. Right, Grand Elder? Of course, the Grand Elder said quickly. Qibing's heart was cold. It was over, it was all over. The palace of Dark Palace had become Meng Yao's world, and his future was going to be tough. What should he do? Zhao Qibing fell into deep thought. He had to find a new way out. Right, is there a foundation pill or something? My dad's so old, and it's hard enough for him to practice. Even Qibing has taken a qi gathering pill, and my dad hasn't. Is it okay? Meng Yao asked. Foundation pill. The Grand Elder was very troubled. He wasn't the one who told her dad to practice. She was the one who suggested it. Now you're saying that it's hard to practice without a foundation pill? Are you trying to trick me? Plus, Qibing's foundation egg wasn't provided by the Palace of Dark Palace. It was from the hidden house Zhao. But as unhappy as the Grand Elder was, she still said, We don't have that. You know that the Palace of Dark Palace doesn't have a refiner, but we do have some ingredients, but they're not finished products. Oh, the ingredients don't matter. Linny knows how to concoct pills, so give them to me. Meng Yao didn't hold back at all. Mom, you can just take the ingredients for the pill later, and let Linny make it for you. Okay, Yao Yao. Yuaner saw how confident Meng Yao was, and her heart skipped a beat. She wondered what the relationship between Lin Yi and Meng Yao was. If he was just a bodyguard, he wouldn't listen to Meng Yao like this, would he? But Yuaner didn't ask. After all, she hadn't raised her daughter since she was young, and it wasn't her place to ask about her daughter's private life. The Grand Elder finally sent Yuaner away, and let out a sigh of relief. Although Yuaner took a lot of good stuff from the Palace of Dark Palace, the Grand Elder couldn't care less about it. Sending her away, so that Meng Yao could practice in peace, was the Grand Elder's biggest wish. Meng Yao, on the other hand, didn't say anything. She followed the Grand Elder's wishes and participated in the ceremony. After that, under the worship of the disciples, she became the new palace master of Dark Palace. Zhao Qibing. The first thing Meng Yao did as the new palace master was to punish Zhao Qibing. Palace master, your disciple is here. Zhao Qibing was sweating profusely, regretting his choice. Of all the ancient sects he could have chosen, why did he have to choose the Palace of Dark Palace? Motherfucker, this Meng Yao wouldn't stop until she killed him. Chapter 31:12. Fortunately, Sky Elixir had a grudge with Lin Yi. Although he didn't know why the head of Sky Elixir helped Lin Yi once, it was probably because he didn't like the Dark Palace and helped Lin Yi. Zhao Qibing didn't believe that Sky Elixir could build a friendship with Lin Yi. Besides, Kong Ming had called him to show off, saying that he cut off Lin Yi's source of income. Under his suggestion, Sky Elixir had taken over the entire Cultivator Trade Association's medicinal market. This way, Linny would be in trouble financially. Although he couldn't hurt Linny physically, he could hurt him mentally. So, Zhao Qibing believed that as long as he had a good relationship with the young head of Sky Elixir, he'd be able to kill Lin Yi. The young head of Sky Elixir was a man. He couldn't be Lin Yi's woman, could he? Fortunately, he had a trick up his sleeve. Just wait and see how I'll play you to death. From today onwards, you'll be cleaning the toilets. Ming Yao said faintly. Yes. Qibing didn't reject it. A wise man knows when to fight when the odds are against him. He knew that Ming Yao would think of other ways to get back at him if he rejected her. So he agreed without hesitation. Sky Elixir. Vice Chairman Ouyang didn't say anything, but in the Cultivator Trade Association, the Honorable Grand Elder's spy reported the news of Lin Yi's visit. Although it wasn't specific, it was easy to guess that Lin Yi was defeated. This wasn't a secret. It spread quickly in Sky Elixir, and naturally, Tian Chan knew about it. But, even if she wanted to help, there was nothing she could do. She couldn't disobey the Xianqian ancestors' orders for no reason, could she? That way, no matter how stupid the ancestor was, he'd be able to tell that she was helping Lin Yi. There was nothing she could do. Although Tian Chan was a strong headmaster, when it came to small matters, the Xianqian ancestor couldn't help but interfere. Tian Dai, who stood beside Tian Chan, was surprised. Why would Tian Chan pay so much attention to Lin Yi? Was there something special about this Lin Yi? But Tian Dai didn't find anything special. He was just a freelancer. If she didn't help him last time, then Lin Yi wouldn't be able to deal with the Dark Palace. However, in Tian Dai's eyes, Tian Chan was always right. No matter what Tian Chan did, she would blindly follow. Since Tian Chan paid attention to Lin Yi, Tian Dai decided to pay attention to Lin Yi as well. Tian Dai, help me investigate if Lin Yi is short of money. Tian Chan didn't know about Lin Yi's company. These things were too far away from her. So she was going to let Tian Dai find out more. Yes, young headmaster. Tian Dai responded and disappeared from Tian Chan's window. After Tian Dai left, Tian Chan's face blushed. She pursed her lips, and was at a loss about the future. I seem to have feelings that don't belong to me. I like Lin Yi. If that's the case, what should I do in the future? She couldn't be an inheritor, but her identity was still the young headmaster of Heavenly Elixir sect. Her brother wasn't qualified to be the young headmaster at all. Tian Chan couldn't bear to push him up by force. However, in this way, Tian Chan couldn't recover her identity as a female. Even if she could meet Lin Yi again, she could only use the identity of Tian Chan, and not the Sky Silkworm transformation. She had to bury this secret forever. Patriarch Xuanqin's room. Father-in-law, good news. Lin Yi went to the Cultivator Trade Association to sell elixirs, but they didn't accept it. Kong Mingming told the news to Patriarch Xianqian excitedly. And there's nothing to be excited about. This matter isn't a big deal. Patriarch Xianqian waved his hand faintly and said, it can only cause some financial troubles for Lin Yi. It can't hurt him too much. That's true. By the way, Lin Yi asked me just now, how is the Qi gathering elixir? Father-in-law, when can we start refining elixirs for Lin Yi? Kong Mingming asked. There's no hurry for the time being. What happened to Little 1 and Little 11 last time has already aroused Boss Bai's vigilance. If Lin Yi dies from eating elixirs this time, he definitely won't let it go. Let's wait a little longer. When the wood attribute inheritor is completely cultivated, I won't be afraid anymore, and can deal with Lin Yi freely, Patriarch Xianqian said. Okay, father-in-law. For this period of time, we'll continue to refine first-grade and second-grade elixirs, right? Kong Mingming asked. That's right. Use all the money of our 5 elements sect to buy materials for first-grade and second-grade elixirs, and then refine them as soon as possible. You should know that the demand of the Cultivator Trade Association is very high. We'll saturate this market so that Lin Yi can't do anything, Patriarch Xianqian said. Moreover, we'll also refine more inventory. In case we don't have time to refine in the future, the Cultivator Trade Association won't run out of stock. Okay, I understand. Kong Mingming nodded. However, in fact, even if the people of the Heavenly Elixir sect and the 5 Elements sect refined elixirs together, the cost of the elixirs was not low. After all, Even if it was first-grade and second-grade elixirs, it was impossible to guarantee the success rate if they refined too many. Moreover, if they refined too many, they wouldn't have enough energy, and the rate of failure would also increase. Moreover, not all the elixir masters were second-grade and third-grade elixir masters. There were many elixir master disciples. It would be good if they could successfully refine 1 out of 2 elixir masters. Fortunately, although the cost was high, the selling price was higher. Even if it was cheaper, there was still a lot of profit. Otherwise, with Patriarch Xuanzhen's personality, he wouldn't do a loss-making business. There were many ways to attack Lin Yi, so there was no need to make a loss by harming others without benefiting himself. It was Patriarch Xuanzhen's personality to harm others and benefit himself at the same time. Half of Dongfang Hao's eye socket was cut off. Although he took the small reversion pill and stopped the bleeding, the eye socket could not be regenerated. When he went back, he could only think of a way to make a fake eyeball and a protective shell. Everyday and everyday sect, I'm not done with you. After Dongfang Hao ran away, he squatted in a deserted place and panted heavily. He took out his phone and dialed Dongfang Jingxing's number. Dongfang Hao, how is it? Have you arrived at East Ocean City? Is everything going well? Have you found out who killed Dongfang Jian? Dongfang Jingxing asked. Master, I have found out. It's the everyday and everyday sect. Dongfang Hao gritted his teeth and said, but I'm also seriously injured. Chapter 31:13. Yes, he's still here. Dongfang Hao angrily said. It's like this. I came to the Cultivator Trade Association's market square today to ask around. After saying that, Dongfang Hao told Dongfang Jingxing what happened. After Dongfang Jingxing heard it, he flew into a rage. It's the everyday and everyday sect again? Are you sure they did it? Young master. Don't forget that young master Busheng died to Zhang Naipeo's dark demon of Hellfist. And I fell for it as well. That magical feeling can't be faked. At least, other than the dark demon of Hellfist of everyday and day sect, I don't know of any other sect's techniques that have such magical effects. Dongfang Hard said with certainty. What you said makes sense. The everyday and everyday sect, we will remember this grudge. You don't have to worry about Dongfang Jian's grudge for now. I don't dare to take revenge for Dongfang Belu for now. So don't be rash. Dongfang Jingxing advised. He was afraid that Dongfang Hao would do something stupid and clash with the everyday and everyday sect. I know that, young patriarch. Don't worry. I also know that I'm not their match. The people of that sect are all freaks, and they can even fight people of a higher level. Dongfang Hard nodded his head and said, the matter of revenge has to be considered in the long run. With an enemy, it will be easy. As long as you understand. Also, don't provoke the Cultivator Trade Association if you can. You also said that the vice president might have been threatened by the everyday and everyday sect. Actually, this matter has nothing to do with him. Let's forget about it in the future. It's not appropriate for our Dongfang clan to make too many enemies now. Dongfang Jingxing reminded. I understand. I won't. Dongfang Hard hurriedly said. In truth, he didn't blame Vice President Ouyang. Although Vice President Ouyang had slashed him, it was only to save his life. Dongfang Hard placed all his hatred on the everyday and everyday sect. From his point of view, if it wasn't for the everyday and everyday sect's coercion, would the Cultivator Trade Association need to give them false testimony? The only possibility was that the everyday and everyday sect was too powerful, and the Cultivators Trade Association didn't dare to offend them, so they helped them hide it. After all, even though the Dongfang clan was a top-notch ancient sect, it was still a far cry from the everyday and everyday sect. What you need to do now is to work with Dongfang Burwa and capture Su Shihan. Then return to the Dongfang family immediately. Don't do anything else. Dongfang Jingxing ordered. Yes, Dongfang Hard was injured at the moment. He could only deal with Su Shihan and the people around her. He didn't have the guts or ability to deal with the disciples of the everyday and everyday sect. It was the same as sending himself to his death. It would be great if those two ancestors were there. It would be easier if they took action. Dongfang Jingxing hung up and suddenly sighed. But Dongfang Jingxing only thought about it. These two ancestors had disappeared for more than 10 years without any news. Although the Dongfang family had two peak heaven-rank great perfection powerhouses in name, it was only in name. This was also the reason why Dongfang Jingxing had been enduring. Nothing could be done about it. Although their great perfection powerhouses had left, a successor had appeared, but the Dongfang family had no successor. Dongfang Badeo and Dongfang Yinxing hadn't rushed up yet. This made Dongfang Jingxing sullenly remember this debt. After Dongfang hard rested for a while, he quickly rushed to the hotel where Dongfang Burwa was staying. But when Dongfang Burwa opened the door, he was shocked. What's wrong with your head? Dongfang Burwa was puzzled. Why did his father send him an injured person? The two who weren't injured were already dead. What could this injured person do? I met an enemy, it's nothing. I'll go with you to find Su Shirhan tonight. Dongfang hard shook his head, indicating that he was fine. But, can you fight them in this state? Dongfang Burwa asked worriedly. It's okay. The great elder of the Dark Palace has already left with Mingyao. There's no threat in the villa now. Dongfang Chong waved his hand. He had investigated this beforehand. That's why he dared to help Dongfang Burwa cause trouble for Su Shirhan. If the Grand Elder hadn't left yet, then he'd better run. Okay, then we'll go when it's dark. Dongfang Burwa nodded and didn't ask any more. Since Dongfang Hard didn't want to say anything, he didn't care. 5 Elements Sect. Second Senior Brother Xianzhen, why are you looking for me? Patriarch Xianzhen asked Patriarch Xianzhen with a smile. Xianzhen, I heard that you told the elders and disciples of 5 Elements Sect and Sky Elixir Sect to start refining first and second level elixirs? Elder Xuanzhen frowned. Aren't you just wasting time? Do we still need to refine those things? It's like this, second brother. I'm doing this for our 5 Elements Sect. Although our 5 Elements Sect came down from the supreme level, this is a society of money. We don't have enough money. We don't even have enough materials to buy elixirs. We just want to earn more money. Elder Xianzhen smiled bitterly. Second brother, you're not the head of the sect, so you don't know how expensive things are. You need a lot of elixirs to refine the suppressive elixirs. You also need a lot of supplementary ingredients. Don't you need money to buy them? Our 5 Elements Sect doesn't have that much savings. We can only rely on selling these elixirs to make money. Is that so? Elder Xuanzhen paused. He really didn't know about this. He wasn't the head of the sect, so he didn't know how much savings 5 Elements Sect had. Hearing Xuanzhen's words, it seemed to make sense. He didn't say anything more. If that's the case, then you guys can continue. Alright, second brother, you don't have to worry about these things. Just focus on refining the elixirs. I'll take care of these trivial matters. Elder Xuanzhen's words were dignified, but in fact, only he and Kong Mingming knew about it. Oh right, I called you here because there's one more thing. Ask Kong Mingming to help me. I don't have enough manpower to refine the elixirs. I need to find a trustworthy and capable disciple to help. Elder Xuanzhen said. Chapter 31:14. That's fine. But with the Heavenly Elixir Sect's matters, she'll be busy. Ancestor Xianzhen had no choice but to nod his head. How about this? I'll go find her myself. Don't delay the operations of the Heavenly Elixir Sect. That's fine, second senior brother. Ancestor Xianzhen didn't mind. Ancestor Xianzhen didn't waste any time. He packed his things and went to find Tian Chan. The plan for Heaven Great Island was about to begin. He had to start concocting the first defensive pill. Otherwise, he wouldn't have enough time. Tian Chan was slightly surprised by Ancestor Xianzhen's arrival. Master, why did you come personally? If there's anything, call me and I'll be there. I'm here to stay. I need your help with something. Patriarch Xianzhen said. It's like this. I'm going to refine the first defensive pill to start the Heaven Stage Island plan. However, I need someone to help me from the side because I can't refine this pill alone. Someone needs to replace me in the middle of it. Oh, Master, please tell me if you have any instructions. But to replace you halfway, although I am also a third-grade alchemist, if there is a small error in my control of temperature, It will be completely useless. After Tian-chan heard this, her expression became serious as she spoke. Hehe, you don't have to worry about this. I have a divine artifact here that's specially used to refine this pill. Ancestor Xianjun laughed and said proudly. Oh, there's such a divine artifact? Tian-chan was stunned. What's that? That's it. Ancestor Xianjun took out a third-grade cauldron from his bag. However, this cauldron was different from other cauldrons. There was a row of thermometers and a few stopwatches on it. It looked very strange. What's this? It looks so strange. Tian-chan looked at the cauldron in Ancestor Xianjun's hand. Is it sick? Why are there so many thermometers on it? Pooh. Cough cough. Ancestor Xianjun looked at Tian-chan's naive look and coughed. He wanted to show off a bit, but Tian-chan didn't know what was good for her. Patriarch Xianjun had no choice but to personally explain. This godly artifact was modified by a genius girl I met many years ago. Genius girl? Transform? What's the use of this? Tian-chan asked in surprise. Tian-chan, look here. There is a stopwatch. There is a thermometer, right? There is a scale on the thermometer, right? Xianjun Patriarch said proudly, as he pointed at the item on the cauldron. I see it, but what's the use of this? Tian-chan was very puzzled. Hehe, it's very useful. The scale on the thermometer is the temperature that the stopwatch needs to count down. I just need to follow the time on the stopwatch and condense the alchemy fire at this temperature. Then, I don't need to worry about anything else. I just need to watch the temperature of the thermometer and wait for the stopwatch to finish counting down. Then the next stopwatch will start automatically. At this time, I still need to adjust the alchemy fire according to the temperature on the stopwatch and continue to maintain the temperature. Then, I wait for the stopwatch to finish counting down, and so on until the next stopwatch. Ancestor Xianjun said. Is it that simple? Tian-chan was a little surprised. Doesn't that mean that if we strictly follow the instructions, we can have a 100% success rate? Of course, Ancestor Xianjun nodded and said. That's why we call it a godly artifact. It's very useful. As long as we can master the temperature of the alchemy fire, we can smoothly form the alchemy fire. The success rate can reach 100%. God, it's really magical, Tian-chan exclaimed. But this seems very complicated. Can it be used to refine other pills? That's not possible. The mechanisms on top are all set up. They can only be used to refine pills used on Heavenly Island. Ancestor Xianjun shook his head regretfully and said, these mechanisms are calculated through a series of complicated functions and formulas. It's not something that can be changed by ordinary people. We can't do it. Don't look at these mechanical things. That's just the surface. There's actually a single-chip microcomputer inside. Single-chip chicken? What's that? Is it a spirit beast? No matter how Tian-chan looked at it, this medicine cauldron didn't look like it could be used to rear small animals. Ahem. It's an electronic component. It's like the central processor in a computer. We only need to follow the temperature and time on top. However, we've neglected an important thing. That is the intensity of the fire. This single-chip microcomputer can automatically change the amount of fire in the medicine cauldron through the temperature and time we input. It's similar to a stove head in order to achieve the purpose of changing the intensity of the fire. It's very complicated and can't be used on other things. Ancestor Xianjun explained. Then, the person who invented this thing is really a genius. Tian-chan couldn't imagine that alchemy could actually be so high-tech. Yes, otherwise I wouldn't have given that thing to her. Ancestor Xianjun nodded. That thing. Tian-chan was taken aback. Is it the one you gave Little Peach? Yes, that's it. Ancestor Xianjun nodded and said. It was originally prepared for you and Tian-yin, but I didn't expect it to be used. Hehe, I really want to meet this genius. Tian-chan said. My surname is also Tian. How can I not be a genius? Tian-chan, I suddenly realized that you've become very cute today. Are you planning to restore your female body? Ancestor Xianjun suddenly realized that something was wrong and suddenly asked. I didn't. Tian-chan's face turned red. Although she said that she didn't, her expression betrayed her. AI. It's been hard on you. If you really can't do it, just restore it. I'll nurture Tianyin again. Ancestor Xianjin felt sorry for his disciple. No need, master. Let's start alchemy now. Tian Chan shook her head but said firmly. It doesn't matter. I'm fine now. And, since that's the case, I won't say any more. In a while, when my physical strength and true qi can't keep up, you can directly connect me here. During the alchemy process, there's a small pause here. This is also the reason why two people can refine. Ancestor Xianjun pointed to a stopwatch and a temperature scale above the medicine cauldron. Okay, I understand. Tian Chan was also an alchemist. It was easy for her to understand Ancestor Xianjun's meaning. Chapter 31:15. Han Jingjing stretched her waist and rubbed her big watery eyes. She put the small stove in her hand on the table. She was very satisfied with her invention. After a month of research day and night, she finally succeeded in making the finished product. Han Jingjing was very excited. She didn't care about her exhaustion. She took the small stove on the table and rushed downstairs. She went straight to Lin Yi's villa. When Lin Yi heard the hurried knock on the door, he thought it was Dongfang who came looking for him. He didn't expect to see Han Jingjing when he went out. He was stunned. Jingjing, didn't you go back for seclusion? Why are you here again? Big brother Lin Yi, Jingjing's invention succeeded, so I quickly came to show it to you. Han Jingjing held the small stove in her hand like a child who got 100 marks in a test. She was very happy. Big brother Lin Yi, do you think Jingjing is great? Ugh, what is this? Lin Yi pointed at the small stove in Han Jingjing's hand and asked curiously. It looks like a first-grade medicine cauldron. But why is there an LCD screen on it? Yes, it is a first-grade medicine cauldron. But it is an automatic first-grade medicine cauldron. Han Jingjing said proudly. This is Jingjing's latest invention. First-grade medicine cauldron? Automatic. Lin Yi was stunned. He asked with widened eyes. Can I understand that your medicine cauldron can automatically refine pills? Of course, it can't be done automatically. It must be operated by an alchemist. Han Jingjing explained. However, it is much simpler. With this automatic first-grade medicine cauldron, the alchemist's body doesn't need to have the wood attribute, only the fire attribute. In fact, it is the same as Jingjing's scientific alchemy. There is a hint on when to change the temperature of the alchemy fire. As long as the temperature of the alchemy fire is changed according to the time period, the automatic first-grade medicine cauldron can automatically adjust the fire according to the existing formula to replace the role of the wood attribute. In this way, the threshold of an alchemist is much lower. This you can produce a product now? Lin Yi looked at Han Jingjing incredulously. He really didn't know what to say. If possible, Lin Yi really wanted to pry open Han Jingjing's little head to see what kind of structure was inside. Automatic medicine cauldron. Only she could think of it, right? That's right. Jingjing saw that big brother Lin Yi is very short of money, so she invented this medicine cauldron. If it was sold to those hidden families and ancient sects, it could be sold for a sky-high price. You have to know, this is a high-tech product that can allow their alchemist to have 100% success rate. Han Jingjing said. Jingjing. Lin Yi took a deep breath. He really didn't know what to say. Han Jingjing hadn't been in seclusion for more than a month. So this was what she was busy with. Was it because he was short of money? Looking at Han Jingjing's thin face, Lin Yi couldn't help but hug Han Jingjing in his arms. You've worked hard. Han Jingjing was hugged by Lin Yi. Her body was slightly stiff, but her eyes flashed a touch of happiness. She didn't struggle, and just leaned into Lin Yi's arms. She was indeed tired. Han Jingjing was almost exhausted to death for more than a month. If she wasn't a cultivator, I'm afraid she really couldn't bear it. It's okay. As long as I can help big brother Lin Yi, Jingjing will be happy, Han Jingjing said. This first-grade medicine cauldron can currently refine 10 different kinds of medicinal pills. But Jingjing suggested to make 3 kinds of medicine cauldrons. One is a medicine cauldron that contains 5 kinds of common medicinal pills. One is a medicine cauldron that contains a single medicinal pill. And the last one is a limited edition that can refine 10 kinds of medicinal pills. It contains 2 or 3 kinds that are not in the 5 kinds of medicinal pills, and not in the single medicinal pill. This way, the rarer it is, the more precious it is. It can be taken out for auction. Linny suddenly realized that Han Jingjing's business mind was also very heaven-defying. It was originally a product, but she just casually changed it into 5 in 1, 10 in 1, and multiple in 1 automatic first-grade medicine cauldrons. This money was really easy to earn. If this kind of thing was really sold on the market, Linny could foresee how popular it would be. Which sect didn't want to buy this kind of thing? In this way, not only could the success rate of alchemy be increased, but any fire attribute cultivator could also do alchemy. It wasn't necessary to have a wood attribute. In this way, which sect and family wouldn't buy it? If they bought it, they wouldn't have to face the face of the Heavenly Elixir sect and the Cultivator Trade Association. Moreover, they could refine any medicinal pill they wanted at any time, anywhere. How awesome and convenient was that? Moreover, what made Linny most happy was that Kong Ming Ming had brought out a whole bunch of first and second grade medicinal pills to support Lin Yi's business. Now it was great. Linny couldn't do anything about second grade medicinal pills at the moment, but as for first grade medicinal pills, Kong Ming Ming would probably have mountains of them in his hands in the future. Either he sold them cheaply, or else who would buy them? It would be much cheaper to refine them himself, and the costs would be much lower. Linny was just thinking about how to screw over Kong Ming Ming this time, and Han Jingjing had sent him such a heaven-defying thing. It was really like hitting a pillow while dozing off. When Kong Ming Ming found out, he would probably be fuming, wouldn't he? Jingjing, this thing of yours has really solved a big problem, Linny said with a sigh. The money of ancient sects and hidden aristocratic families wasn't easy to earn. One of Lin Yi's pill of life extension and toxin cleansing could be auctioned for a few $100 million in the common world. But would it be the same in the hidden world or ancient world? Of course not. It was just like how fruits had a different price in their country of origin, and a different price when transported by air to a foreign country. But Han Jingjing's thing was a killing machine for money. Yes, but I don't know how much I'll sell it for or how I'll sell it for. Han Jingjing said. But big bro Lin Yi, you can give the distribution rights to the secular Lu family, and let them produce and sell it. The secular Lu family? Lin Yi was slightly taken aback. Originally, Lin Yi had planned to cooperate with the Cultivator Trade Association's Vice President Ouyang. After all, Vice President Ouyang was a trustworthy friend, and Lin Yi naturally couldn't forget him when he had something good to do. But he didn't expect that Han Jingjing would actually suggest giving the distribution rights to the Lu family. Chapter 31:16. Yes, thank you, Linny bro. Han Jingjing said happily. Linny didn't know whether to laugh or cry. This is something you invented yourself. Even if you didn't give it to me, I wouldn't be able to say anything if you cooperated with House Lu. Why are you thanking me? No, Jingjing's stuff belongs to Linny bro. Jingjing doesn't have any ideas. Han Jingjing said in Lin Yi's arms. What the hell, shield bro, you're too fast. Although Yao Yao and I both acknowledged Jingjing, you can't just start hugging Yao Yao right after she left. You have to bring Shu with you in the villa. Yushu's voice came from behind Lin Yi. Han Jingjing was a little shy. She struggled out of Lin Yi's arms and looked at Yushu. Jingjing's a little tired. Linny bro, help me up. I know. What's this? Yushu pointed at the automatic cauldron in Lin Yi's hands. This is Jingjing's invention, Lin Yi said, and explained the function of the cauldron to Yushu. No way. Jingjing, you're amazing. Shield bro is rich this time. Yushu's eyes were wide open as she looked at the automatic cauldron in Lin Yi's hands. Haha. Lin Yi smiled. Han Jingjing was a little embarrassed from the compliment. Right, shield bro, there's a computer program in this thing, right? Yushu asked suddenly. Yeah, of course there is. Lin Yi nodded. Then you guys have to be careful. If there's a computer program in there, it'll have to be encrypted. Those ancient sects and hidden houses might not know about it. But if someone they know knows about it, we won't be able to sell our products if it's pirated. Yushu reminded. You're right. There are a lot of pirated things out there. It'd be a big loss if someone pirated it. Lainey listened to Yushu's reminder. He nodded. Shu, you're really thoughtful. Jing and I didn't think of this. Yes, Lainey bro, Shu's right. We have to encrypt it. Han Jingjing also nodded and said. But Jingjing isn't good at hacker knowledge like encryption and decryption of computer programs. I don't feel at ease asking for help. This is a difficult problem. Hacker? Lainey smiled all of a sudden. I have a good friend. She's really good with computers. She's good at hacking especially. Looks like. It won't be a problem to hand it over to her. Moreover, I have 2 madams who are also computer experts. When the time comes, I will encrypt the program. I have it. I'm afraid that the ancient sects and the hidden houses won't be able to get it. That's good. Yushu was a little surprised. She didn't expect Lin Yi to know someone like that. Then Big Brother Lin Yi. Here's a flash drive. The design plan of the first-grade automatic medicine cauldron and the source code of the microcontroller are all here. You can start researching and producing it. Jingjing has to go back and continue researching. Han Jingjing said. Continue the research? What else do you want to study? Isn't that enough? Lin Yi was slightly stunned. This is only grade 1. There are still grade 2 and grade 3. But grade 1 is a bit easier. After many experiments, I found out that the materials for grade 1 cauldrons can be replaced by titanium alloy. However, grade 2 cauldrons are not so easy. If we were to produce them, we wouldn't be able to mass market them without a substitute. So Jingjing still has to continue working hard. Then I'll have to trouble you. Lin Yi didn't stop her. Instead, he encouraged her. Jingjing, it's up to you to earn money in the future. Okay. Jingjing will be Lin Yi Gij's money tree from now on. Han Jingjing smiled and waved at Lin Yi before running back to her villa happily. Lin Yi bro, do you think that Han Jingjing approaching you, helping you with the pill, and helping you with the invention of this thing, has a purpose? Yushu asked after Han Jingjing left. Lin Yi paused. Yushu rarely spoke to him in such a formal tone. But it had to be something important. I can't tell. But it's hard to imagine what purpose she has. Yeah, a girl who's willing to sacrifice her life for you. What purpose could she have? Yushu shook her head, confused. Shu doesn't know what to say. Han Jingjing helped you so much, even creating such a magical thing for you to earn money. Could it be that she really admires Shield Bro, just like Shu? Puffed. Lin Yi didn't know whether to laugh or cry at Shu's words. If she's like you, then that means she's very scheming. Damn. Shield Bro's mocking Shu for being scheming. Yushu wasn't happy. It's not mocking. At least you wouldn't do anything to me, right? Lin Yi smiled. I don't think Han Jingjing would either. So I won't ask if she doesn't want to talk about it. She's done enough for me. And Yao sis. Yushu reminded. Yeah. I'll go to the Palace of Darkness to visit Yao when things are done here. Lin Yi nodded solemnly. Yushu only went back to watch TV after hearing that. Lin Yi called Little Jio after going back to his room. There were some things that Lin Yi wouldn't run away from since he'd chosen to face them. After accepting the Miss and Han Jingjing one after another, Lin Yi's attitude changed a little, since the people around him had changed because of him. And this change was irreversible. Why should he try to resist? He might as well let nature take its course. Eagle? The 9th princess paused when she received Lin Yi's call. Just call me Lin Yi from now on. Or call me Brother Ai like Little Seven does. Lin Yi said. I don't need Eagle anymore. The 9th princess was surprised. You're not going to do business with me anymore? No matter what, I can't change the fact that we grew up together. Why should I change it? Lin Yi smiled. Little Jio, what's your decision? It's about your biological parents and brother. Chapter 31:17. What do you mean accept you? Lin Yi was taken aback. Let me be your girlfriend, Lil Jio said. Didn't you say that if you can't change, then don't change? What I mean is, we're childhood sweethearts. What does that have to do with you being my girlfriend? Lin Yi couldn't help but smile bitterly. Lil Jio really knew how to push her luck. Isn't childhood sweetheart a girlfriend? Lil Jio asked back. Chi-Chi and I are childhood sweethearts. So she's my girlfriend too? Wouldn't both of you be my girlfriends then? Lenny asked back. That's right, who says we aren't? Lil Joe said matter-of-factly. Godfather has so many wives. Lenny was speechless. Let's not talk about this for now. Inheritors can't do that. So the girlfriend thing, we'll put it off for now. I know, we won't go to bed for now. Hugs are still fine, Lil Joe said. Lil Joe, when did you become so impure? Lenny sweated. Do you expect a girl who spends all her time on the internet to be pure? I can't even tell if she's a man or a woman anymore, Lil Joe said. Lenny was speechless. Then let's talk when we meet? It's such a serious matter, we can't talk about it over the phone. Sure. Lil Joe didn't say much to Lenny this time, knowing when to stop. If she didn't know about Lin Yi's change from Chi-Chi, she wouldn't have been able to push him so hard today. If it were the old Lin Yi, he probably wouldn't have said anything at all. Right, Lil Joe, I'm calling you this time because I need your help with something. Lenny said. Are you good at encrypting MCU programs? MCU? Most of the MCU programs on the market can be decrypted. Why do you ask? Lil Joe was confused as to why Lenny would ask about this. It's like this. Lenny told Little Nine about how Han Jingjing had invented an automatic medicine cauldron that could be used to refine pills. Oh, that's easy. Send me the source code. And then I'll help you encrypt it and put it into a kind of single-chip microcomputer that Godmother and I developed in the past. There's no information on this kind of single-chip microcomputer. The encryption is very powerful, and it's very difficult to decrypt it, Little Joe said directly after listening. Okay, then I'll send it to your email later. Lenny was relieved that he had settled one thing. Yes. Aren't you going to generate a lot of programs? What do you want for each one? Tell me and I'll help you rearrange the encryption. Little Nine said. No problem. Lenny nodded. How's Chi-Chi recently? It's still the same. After Sister Seven knows that I don't have to run around for my illness, she'll focus on helping you find the blue crystal and the other things. Once there's news, I'll inform you, Little Nine said. Okay, I won't be busy for a while. I'll go back and take a look, Lenny said. After ending the call with Little Joe, Lenny hesitated for a moment. He dialed Lu Jing'an's phone directly. This time, Lenny didn't look for Lu Tianyi directly, but Lu Jinghan directly. Lenny didn't know why. Maybe he wanted to prove something. Mr. Lenny? Lu Jinghan quickly picked up the phone. Her voice sounded a little happy, but also a little worried. Miss Lu Jinghan, I heard that the bank has begun to collect debts? Lenny asked directly. Yes, the Lu family owed a lot of debts before. Lu Jinghan didn't hide it. Instead, she told the truth. But Jinghan is already working hard to find new money-making projects. You don't have to keep the change. I'll give you one, Lenny said and told Lu Jinghan about the automatic first-grade medicine cauldron that Han Jingjing had invented. There's such a magical thing. Jinghan really admires the person who invented it, Lu Jinghan said with some guilt. Jinghan just got a bargain like this. It's not good, right? There's nothing bad about it. This is the person who invented it. She said that she wanted to give it to your Lu family. She is very important to me, and her words are also very important to me. So it's a bargain for your Lu family, said Lin Yi. NN. Lu Jinghan was suddenly a little excited. What did you say? Lin Yi was slightly stunned. I'm sorry, Mr. Lin. Jinghan is a little lost. It's really this thing is too magical. It makes Jinghan very excited. I think that after this thing is on the market, those hidden families and ancient sects will come to please the Lu family. Lu Jinghan said sincerely. Well, the marketing plan of this matter will be handed over to you. Lin Yi nodded and didn't say anything more to Lu Jinghan. I hope you won't disappoint my friend's efforts. You must make this medicine cauldron well. Mr. Lin, please rest assured. Jinghan will do her best. Lu Jinghan promised. That's good. I won't say anything more. Lin Yi said. However, you'd better come to East Ocean City to pick up the sample. After all, I'm not too assured if I send it to you. Also, you haven't come into contact with the principal of the medicine cauldron, so I want to tell you personally. In fact, these words of Lin Yi were just excuses. In Lin Yi's heart, there was suddenly a very persistent thought. and that was to see Lu Jinghan. Lu Jinghan Jingjing Han Jingjing. Could there be any relationship between them? However, Linny felt that it was not very likely. However, Lu Jinghan's in seemed to have touched something deep in Lin Yi's heart. It made Linny insist on seeing her. Okay, then I'll rush over today. We can meet tomorrow. Lu Jinghan agreed readily without the slightest hesitation. This made Lin Yi a little disappointed. It seemed that some of his ideas should be wrong. See you tomorrow. Lin Yi nodded and hung up the phone without any interest. Then, Lin Yi began to continue to study condensing the forging fire. Now that Lin Yi's technique of condensing the forging fire was getting more and more skilled, Lin Yi didn't dare to condense the jade pendant space easily, because the materials he had were extremely limited. If the refining failed, then Lin Yi wouldn't be able to find a place to cry. This thing also had a success rate like alchemy. Although failure wouldn't cause any damage to the jade pendant, the materials would be lost. Therefore, Lin Yi must have more than 80% confidence before he dared to make a move. At night, Lin Yi was condensing the jade pendant space when he suddenly felt a car parked outside the villa. The two people in the car were both cultivators. Chapter 31:18. Lin Yi stood up and walked out of the room. Since they were already here, Lin Yi didn't want to let them in. After all, Dongfang Burwa was a practitioner, and Lin Yi didn't want him to hurt Su Shirhan and Yushu. One had to know that this guy was a pervert. Even if he didn't do anything to Su Shirhan and Yushu, it would still make Lin Yi uncomfortable. Young Master Burwa, we'll leave after we get Su Shirhan. Don't cause any more trouble, Dongfang Hard said to Dongfang Burwa after getting out of the car. I understand. Dongfang Burwa didn't like Dongfang Hard's tone, but he knew that so many people had died. It was best to end this quickly, but he didn't want to give up. The Grand Elder of the Dark Palace took away a female student, and there was still one left. If he could get the other one with Su Shirhan, that would be great. But he couldn't say it out loud. N. Dongfang Hard was about to enter when he saw Lin Yi standing in front of the villa. He jumped. It's you, young Master Burwa, run, I'll cover you. Dongfang Chang exclaimed subconsciously. He'd experienced Lin Yi's strength back at the Cultivator Trade Association, and he'd had to run for his life. Now that he was heavily injured, he couldn't use his full strength at all. He couldn't even protect Dongfang Burwa, let alone defeat Lin Yi. He had to get Dongfang Burwa to leave. Dongfang Burwa paused, but he wasn't an idiot. If Dongfang Burwa told him to run, then there must be danger. Dongfang Burwa didn't care about Dongfang Hard's life and jumped into the car. Lin Yi frowned. Lin Yi wanted to keep both Dongfang Burwa and Dongfang Hard here, but he didn't expect Dongfang Burwa to be so cautious. But keeping one was enough. Fire Bagua Palm 9th style. While Dongfang Hao was distracted, Lin Yi struck out with the 9th style of the Frenzy 8 trigrams palm. Dongfang Hao was worried that Dongfang Not Weak would not be able to defend himself in time. Lin Yi's palm was right in front of him, and he jumped in fright. He wanted to dodge, but Dongfang Burwa's car hadn't started yet. He could only close his eyes helplessly and take the hit head-on, giving Dongfang Burwa time to escape. It had to be said that the Dongfang people were very loyal. If he'd dodged, Lin Yi might have just smacked the car with the palm right before it started. Then Dongfang Burwa would definitely die. Boom. Dongfang Chang had already revolved his Heart Sutra and used his true qi to protect his body. But he did not expect that Lin Yi's move would be so powerful that he was directly sent flying. Dongfang Burwa's body shot out like a cannonball, smashing heavily into the car that Dongfang Burwa had just started. The force was incomparably strong. If it hit Dongfang Burwa's car, it would definitely flip over. And this was not what Dongfang Chang wanted to see. Dongfang Chang had no other choice. He could only withdraw his true qi protection and use his own true qi to resist Lin Yi's attack. Originally, Dongfang Chang's injury was not fatal, but this attack reduced the force of his flying. However, at the same time, Dongfang Chang also suffered a serious internal injury. He spat out a mouthful of blood. By the time he landed on the back of Dongfang Burwa's car, he was already out of breath. Especially since he did not use his true qi protection, The injury on his head was very serious. It was obvious that he would not be able to live. Boom! Boom! At the same time, Dongfang Brua also started his car and quickly disappeared in front of Lin Yi's villa. Looking at Dongfang Brua's car leaving, Lin Yi hesitated for a moment and did not chase after him. The ninth move of the Frenzy 8 trigram palm had already used up most of Lin Yi's true qi. Only a small portion was left, so there was no need to talk about whether or not Lin Yi could catch up to Dongfang Brua. Even if he did, he would have used up most of his true qi. He did not have absolute confidence that he could kill Dongfang Brua. Moreover, there was the possibility of exposing his weakness. It was better to let Dongfang Brua see his strong side and have some fear. Otherwise, the next time he brought 2 heaven-class experts to cause trouble, Lin Yi really would not know how to deal with them. Seeing Dongfang Brua spitting out blood in the rearview mirror, Dongfang Brua thought that he was lucky. That was the power of a heaven-class mid-stage peak martial skill. Because he wanted to escape, he did not look at Lin Yi's own strength. Instead, he looked at Lin Yi's martial skill. Therefore, he subconsciously thought that Lin Yi was also a heaven-class mid-stage peak master. If that was the case, then killing Dongfang Brua, who was also injured, would not be a problem. But what did Dongfang Brua mean by that? This person in front of him was from the everyday and everyday sect. Since when did the ancient Feng family, or Feng Tianlin, have a connection with the everyday and everyday sect? To the point that they were able to ask someone from the everyday and everyday sect to protect Su Shirhan? Or did Su Shirhan, that bitch, hook up with a disciple from the everyday and everyday sect to be her bodyguard? The first possibility was not high, and from Dongfang Brua's point of view, it was impossible. If Feng Tianlin was really that capable, then he would have been in control of House Feng a long time ago. Why would he need to be afraid of Feng Tianhu? So, from his point of view, the second possibility was the most likely. Dongfang Brua couldn't help but curse in his heart. Su Shirhan, that bitch, he thought she was pure and innocent. Who would have thought that she was playing with second-hand goods? But the more it was like this, the harder it was for him to calm down. He had to get his hands on Su Shirhan. Otherwise he wouldn't be able to take this lying down. But right now the most important thing was to escape. Lin Yi naturally wouldn't let Dongfang Brua live. The people in the villa heard the commotion outside, and Feng Sanhuang and Wu Qintian quickly came out. Feng Bro Qintian, you guys take care of this person. Dongfang Brua didn't need Lin Yi to do anything. He was about to die anyway. So Feng Sanhuang and Qintian found a place to take care of him. Yes. Thank you for your help, Mr. Lin. Feng Sanhuang said gratefully. This was a sky-class mid-phase peak master, and Dongfang Brua wasn't dead yet. Feng Sanhuang could see his strength clearly, and he was shocked. Lin Yi was indeed strong, killing a sky-class mid-phase peak master in one move. But Dongfang Brua ran away, we couldn't keep him here. Lin Yi sighed. Chapter 31:19. Oh. Lin Yi turned to look at Feng Sanhuang. The great elder of Dark Palace is powerful, right? But even she wouldn't dare kill Dongfang Brua. Her goal is to leave a way out for Dongfang family. Feng Sanhuang saw that Lin Yi didn't understand, so he continued. That's why I said it's a good thing. Lin Yi nodded but didn't deny it. Although Feng Sanhuang was right, Lin Yi and the ancient Feng family were already at each other's throats. There was no room for reconciliation. Even if Lin Yi let Dongfang Brua go, would Dongfang family let Lin Yi go? How could he just let this matter go like this? That was obviously impossible. Lin Yi's guess was right. The first thing Dongfang Brua did when he got back to the hotel was call Dongfang Jinxing for help. Brua, you're done, right? Don't stay any longer, come back to Dongfang family. Dongfang Jinxing picked up the phone and said to Dongfang, not weak. He couldn't be blamed for not thinking too much. After all, Dark Palace's elder Dark Knight had already left. With Dongfang Hard, who was a peak mid-stage heaven-class master, taking care of Su Shirhan would be a piece of cake. Dad, something happened, Dongfang Hard died too. Dongfang Brua said with a sad face. That person was too strong, just one move, and Dongfang Hard died. Luckily I ran fast, or else I'd be dead too. What? Dongfang Jingxing was shocked. How did Dongfang Hard die too? What was going on? Didn't the great elder of Dark Palace leave? How did Dongfang Hard die? Dongfang Jingxing quickly asked. Burua, what happened to you guys? Could it be that the supreme elder of the Dark Palace has returned? No, not from Dark Palace, but from the Everyday and Everyday sect. Su Shirhan, that bitch, seduced a young master from the Everyday and Everyday sect. He was also Sky Class mid-stage peak, and killed Dongfang Burua in one move. And from the looks of it, Dongfang Hard seems to know that disciple from the Everyday and Everyday sect. Dongfang Hard did not dare to hide anything. Dongfang Burua told Dongfang Jingxing everything that had happened in detail. However, Dongfang Burua did not know that Dongfang Jingxing had suffered at the Cultivator Trade Association. So he only guessed that Dongfang Jingxing knew Lin Yi. Oh, the Everyday and Everyday sex people are involved? After Dongfang Jingxing heard this, he couldn't help but feel a surge of anger. Dongfang Bushu's death hasn't been settled with you guys yet. Not only did you guys kill Dongfang Jian, but you also colluded with Su Shirhan and killed Dongfang Jiang. This was intolerable. Even if they couldn't kill their way to the Everyday and Everyday sect, they had to kill this disciple of Su Shirhan. Otherwise, where would the Dongfang family's face go? After all, the Dongfang clan had lost so many people to this disciple of the Everyday and Everyday sect. How could the Dongfang clan tolerate this? Wouldn't anyone be able to shit on the Dongfang family in the future? Dongfang Jingxing needed to take some measures. But was the other side a peak mid-heaven rank expert? Didn't Dongfang Hao say that the opponent was a heaven rank initial phase expert? Could it be that he leveled up already? But Dongfang Jingxing wasn't stupid. He immediately thought of a problem. Dongfang Burua was in a hurry, so he didn't see the opponent's strength clearly. Judging from the way the opponent killed Dongfang Hao, the opponent should be a peak mid-heaven rank expert. This explained why the Everyday and Everyday sex disciples were all experts who had the ability to fight against enemies of a higher level. It wasn't strange for an initial phase heaven rank to kill a peak mid-heaven rank expert in a second. Even a peak late phase heaven rank expert like Dongfang Bushu was killed by an initial phase heaven rank expert. Yes, Dad, I can't take this lying down. What should I do? Dongfang Burua said. It's not just you. Even I can't take this lying down. But if we want to find trouble with this person, normal experts won't be able to do anything. He can kill a peak mid-heaven rank expert in a second, which means that his combat ability has already reached late phase heaven rank. Unless we send a peak late phase heaven rank expert out, we won't be able to stop him. Dongfang Jingxing thought it through very clearly. It was just that he overestimated Lin Yi's strength. Hiss! Dongfang Burua was startled and thought that he was lucky. He quickly asked, So father, you're not his opponent? I can't say that I'm not his opponent, but at least I don't have the confidence to make him stay. So if we want to deal with them, unless your grandfather or uncle personally comes out, no one in our Dongfang family is his opponent. Dongfang Jingxing sighed. There was no news of the two ancestors. These two super experts of the Dongfang family only existed in name. Then can grandfather and uncle come out? Dongfang Burua asked. I need to ask about this. He's not weak. During this period of time, find a place to hide and keep a low profile. At least before your grandfather or uncle comes out. Don't act rashly. Dongfang Jingxing warned. Yes, I understand the importance, Dad. Dongfang Burua was not a fool. Dongfang Hao was dead, and he was left alone. Would he dare to act rashly? Wasn't that the same as courting death? Hearing Dongfang Burua's affirmative answer, Dongfang Jingxing breathed a sigh of relief. He hung up the phone and walked quickly to the room where Dongfang Badeo and Dongfang Yinxing were cultivating. Dang dang dang. Another knock at the door in the middle of the night. Dongfang Badeo also heard the footsteps of Dongfang Jingxing, so he said, Jingxing, what's the matter? Come in and talk. Father, brother, something big has happened. Dongfang Jingxing felt depressed. Every time he came to the door, something big happened. What's the big thing? Dongfang Badeo was shocked and asked. Dongfang Hao is also dead. Dongfang Jingxing said. Today, Dongfang Hao went to the Cultivator Trading Association and met the disciple of the everyday and everyday sect, and was injured. In the evening, he met the disciple again and was killed. He told Dongfang Badao and Dongfang Yinxing in detail. What? The everyday and everyday sect again? Dongfang Badao's eyes flashed with a fierce and insidious look. They are too much. Chapter 3120. Wonderful novels for you to read. Don't be rash. Dongfang Badao waved his hand. The old man was still very calm. He pondered for a moment and said, I heard that the Day After Day sect has cultivated an important disciple of the Heaven Stage Island plan. We must find out the identity of this disciple of the Day After Day sect. Otherwise, if he is really that important disciple, then things will not be as simple as we think. If we touch him, what is waiting for us? I believe you two are very clear. Didn't Dongfang Jian die because he touched the inheritor of the Dark Knight Palace? If we touch an important disciple nurtured by the everyday and everyday sect, then we will become the public enemy of the entire ancient world. This, Dongfang Badao's words immediately made Dongfang Jinxing and Dongfang Yinxing break out in a cold sweat. Yeah, wasn't Mingyao's lesson enough? The deaths of Dongfang Cha and Dongfang Song had caused the Dongfang family to suffer in silence. If they really touched the important disciples of the Heavenly Island project that the everyday and everyday sect had cultivated, no one would stand up for them, even if they were to be exterminated. Father, if it really is that important disciple of the everyday and everyday sect, are we just going to endure it? Dongfang Yinxing asked, a little depressed. Naturally, we can't just let it go like this. When we reach the peak of the late stage of the Heaven Stage, then we will go to the everyday after sun sect to ask for an explanation. We can leave the important disciple alone, but the everyday after sun sect must pay the price. Dongfang Badao said. That's fine. What if it's not? Dongfang Yinxing asked. If not, then it's simple. When you get there, just kill him. Dongfang Badao said faintly. We don't dare to find trouble with the everyday and everyday sect now, but an ordinary disciple outside, we can kill him. All right. Dongfang Yinxing nodded and turned to Dongfang Jinxing. Big brother, quickly investigate the identity of the kid with Su Shihan. If there's nothing, I'll go kill him. I know, I will go and investigate. Dongfang Jinxing nodded. Out of Dongfang Badao's room, Dongfang Jinxing dialed Feng Tianhu's phone to investigate who was around Su Shihan. No one was easier than Feng Tianhu. After all, he knew more about Su Shihan than the Dongfang family. This time, Dongfang Huashuan didn't contact Dongfang Xiaocui, but Feng Tianhu. He was afraid that Dongfang Xiaocui would leak the news to Feng Tianlin. Hello. Feng Tianhu picked up the strange number, wondering who was calling. Mr. Feng Tianhu? I am Dongfang Jinxing from the Dongfang clan. Dongfang Jinxing introduced himself. Ah, greetings, young Master Dongfang. Feng Tianhu was a little excited. He didn't think that the Dongfang family, which he wasn't familiar with, would call him. One had to know that the Dongfang family was Dongfang Xiaocui's family. Even if they didn't like Su Shihan and wanted to deal with her, they wouldn't do anything to harm Feng Tianlin. But this time, Feng Tianhu was a little puzzled. Why was Dongfang Jinxing looking for him? Feng Tianhu, there is a bodyguard around Su Shihan, and I hope that you can investigate the identity of this bodyguard as soon as possible. Otherwise, it will be difficult for us to deal with Su Shihan. Dongfang Jinxing said. Oh, Su Shihan's bodyguard? Isn't it Feng Sanhuang? He's just a mystic class master. How can it be difficult to deal with? Feng Tianhu was slightly stunned, and then said, You mean the matter of the Dark Palace before? But didn't the Grand Elder of the Dark Palace already leave? She left, but... Dongfang Jinxing changed the topic and said painfully, I believe that you will know soon, so I won't hide it anymore. Our Dongfang family, the master with the strength of the peak middle stage of the heaven class, is also dead. The matter is like this. Dongfang Jinxing told the story to Feng Tianhu. Although it was a little shameful, he wanted Feng Tianhu to take it seriously and work hard to investigate. Dongfang Jinxing could only tell the truth. What? You mean Su Shihan colluded with the master disciples of the everyday and everyday sect? How is that possible? Feng Tianhu was shocked. He knew how powerful the everyday sect was. They were so powerful that even the Ice Palace and Snow Valley didn't dare to mess with them, let alone an ancient Feng family? Nothing is impossible, the truth is right in front of us. Dongfang Jingxing said. Feng Tianhu, you don't need to be afraid, you don't need to do anything. You just need to investigate this person's background. Leave the rest to me. Okay, I understand. Feng Tianhu gritted his teeth and nodded. Although investigating the everyday sect made him very scared, it was just a covert investigation and not a direct action. So it was fine. Young Master Dongfang. Then wait for my news. Okay. Then I'll wait for your call. Dongfang Jingxing hung up the phone and couldn't help but shake his head. He could tell that Feng Tianhu was scared. He felt disdain in his heart. With this kind of courage, he wanted to compete for the Feng family's master? On the second day after Dongfang Burua left, Lin Yi's villa returned to its usual peace. No one came to the door again. It seemed like Dongfang Burua gave up just like that. But with Lin Yi's understanding of the Dongfang family, it seemed like they wouldn't give up so easily. After all, they sent so many masters to investigate Dongfang Jian's death. But what surprised Lin Yi was that the ancient Dongfang family had a lot of heaven stage masters. In just a few months, 5 heaven stage masters, Dongfang Burua, Dongfang Jian, Dongfang Cha, Dongfang Song, and Dongfang Chang, died one after another. If they could still send heaven stage masters, then their family was really rich. The next morning, a white BMW X5M stopped in front of Lin Yi's villa. Lin Yi, who had been on guard against Dongfang Burua's visit, naturally noticed the car. Originally, Lin Yi thought it was Han Jingjing's car. After all, it was exactly the same as Han Jingjing's car. But when he looked at the license plate, Lin Yi was slightly surprised. The license plate was from Yanjing City, and it was an unfamiliar number. Chapter 31-21. If Lin Yi's guess was right, this person should be the girl Lin Yi met at the Noble House meeting, Lu Jinghan. But Lu Jinghan was wearing a veil at that time, and Lin Yi didn't pay much attention to her, so he didn't have a deep impression of her. But now, this was the first time Lin Yi saw this genius girl from House Lu. I wonder if there's anything special about him? At least, Lin Yi couldn't tell that House Lu was still in debt. The only thing he could tell was that genius girls all liked white BMW X5M. But no matter what, Lin Yi stood up and walked out of the room. Miss Lu Jinghan? It's me, Mr. Lin Yi. Hello. Lu Jinghan locked the car and combed the messy hair on her forehead. She smiled at Lin Yi, but there was no flattery or respect. There was only respect and gratitude. Thank you, Mr. Lin Yi, for trusting us with the business. Okay, come in and talk. Lin Yi nodded and gestured for Lu Jinghan to enter the living room. Lin Yi said as they walked, since we are partners, you can call me boss like Fatty Lai or Lin Yi. It's a bit awkward to always call me Mr. Lin Yi. Boss. Lu Jinghan paused and said, then I'll call you Lin Yi. Lu Jinghan felt awkward for a girl to call someone boss. Okay, Lin Yi nodded. Then don't call me Miss Lu Jinghan. 5 words are longer than your 4. Just call me Jing Jing. Everyone in my family calls me that, Lu Jinghan said. Jing Jing. Lin Yi frowned. To be honest, he didn't like the name Lu Jinghan. In his heart, there was only one Jing Jing. She was a very important girl to Lin Yi, so Lin Yi wouldn't call anyone else by that name. I'll call you Jinghan. Lu Jinghan was also slightly taken aback, but she smiled and said, of course. They entered the living room and sat on the sofa. Lin Yi put the first-grade automatic cauldron Han Jingjing gave him on the coffee table. This is the first-grade automatic cauldron that my friend invented. Now I'll tell you about its functions. As he spoke, Lin Yi told Lu Jinghan about the functions of the first-grade automatic cauldron, and then gave her the encrypted program Little Geo had sent him, as well as the plan to mass-produce the chip. I understand. With these things, whether it's House Lu or Fatty Lai, they'll be able to turn things around beautifully. Jinghan said confidently, don't worry, Lin Yi. As long as the cauldron is mass-produced, not only will we be able to make up for our losses, but we'll also be able to make a huge profit. And I'll leave it to you. Do as you see fit. Linny nodded and didn't say much. If there's nothing else, you can go back to Yanjing. Okay, then I'll go back first. I'll keep in touch if there's any news. Lu Jinghan said. After sending Lu Jinghan away, Linny was slightly disappointed. Lu Jinghan and the person he wanted to see were completely different. Although they were both beautiful, they had two different styles. Her tone was completely different as well. It made Linny lose interest in interacting with Lu Jinghan. Not long after Lu Jinghan left, another guest came to the villa. It was Su Shirhan's colleague Cheng Yi. Linny didn't think that Cheng Yi would come to visit Su Shirhan. He was surprised. Linny, long time no see. Did you miss me? Cheng Yi smiled as she walked into the living room and asked Linny. Linny shrugged. This question wasn't easy to answer. If he said he missed her, it would be too ambiguous. If he said he didn't miss her, it would be too hurtful. Linny could only avoid the question. Are you here for work or just for fun? It's work. In Xiaohan's new album, there's a song that we sang together. Xiaohan has been living here for a while now and didn't go back to the company. I had to come here personally to practice with her. Cheng Yi shrugged and looked at Linny with interest. By the way, Linny, how did you get our Xiaohan? You actually made her come live with you. Live together. Su Shirhan was getting a drink for Cheng Yi. When she came back, she heard Cheng Yi's question. She was shocked and almost threw the drink in her hand. Don't talk nonsense. I'm just here to visit Yao Yao. She has something to do and has to leave. I'm here to send her off. But she already left. Then why aren't you going back? Cheng Yi looked at Su Shirhan mischievously. Xiaohan, it's not good for a child to lie. Especially a superstar. Su Shirhan blushed. It would be a lie to say that she didn't like Linny. But a good impression was a good impression. It didn't mean that she liked him. Linny cured Su Shirhan's headache and protected her multiple times. It was hard for Su Shirhan not to like him. But Su Shirhan also knew that Linny had too many girlfriends. She reminded herself not to get involved. Don't talk nonsense. Linny has a girlfriend. You know that. Okay, let's go upstairs and practice. Su Shirhan passed the drink to Cheng Yi. Okay. I just got here. I can't rest. I still need to practice with you. Cheng Yi rolled her eyes helplessly. She took a sip of the drink and turned to Linny. I have high hopes for you. Xiaohan doesn't get so close to guys. Thank you. Linny didn't know whether to laugh or cry. To be honest, Linny didn't have any special feelings for Su Shirhan. In his eyes, Su Shirhan was just a beauty that he met not long ago. He was only slightly more familiar with her than Lu Jinghan. As for going after Su Shirhan, Linny didn't even think about it. After all, Linny wasn't a fan. He didn't have any preference for this girl, who was always jumping around. The following days were uneventful. Su Shirhan and Cheng Yi practiced singing. Yushu went to school during the day. Linny continued to condense the forging fire in his room. But amidst the uneventful days, there were two pieces of news that made Linny excited. The first was that the production line for the first-grade automatic cauldron was ready. Everything was ready. All that was left was to start. Chapter 31:22. Soon, the sample of the first-grade automatic medicine cauldron was in Lin Yi's hands, and it could be put on sale immediately. At the same time, Lu Jinghan called Lin Yi to inform him of the good news. Lin Yi, do you think, if we put the product on the market now, will it attract covetous eyes from others? Although Lu Jinghan was full of confidence in the product, she was afraid that the hidden or ancient masters would not be able to bear the loneliness and want to snatch it away. High-quality updates are here. I've thought of this before. So if you want to sell it, you can cooperate with the Cultivator Trading Association. The normal version and the 5-in-1 enhanced version will be sold by our company, And the Cultivator Trading Association will be in charge of the auction of the limited edition 10-in-1 automatic medicine cauldron. Lenny said. And to the outside world, it will be a joint business between you and the Cultivator Trading Association. This way it can serve as a deterrent. Okay, but I don't know anyone from the Cultivator Trading Association, so I need you to help me contact them. This way, we don't need to advertise and do publicity. With the Cultivator Trading Association spreading the news, it will save me some publicity costs, Lu Jinghan said. Okay, I'll contact the Cultivator Trading Association now. Lenny nodded. After hanging up Lu Jinghan's call, Lenny directly called Vice President Ouyang. Mr. Ling, how have you been? Did the Dongfang family cause you trouble? Vice President Ouyang hadn't contacted Lin since he parted ways with Lenny last time, so he was a little worried. I didn't dare to take the initiative to call you during this period of time, but now that I heard your voice, I'm relieved. High-quality updates are here. Vice President Ouyang's true feelings touched Lenny. Vice President Ouyang, I'm fine. I've already killed that Dongfang hard, and the Dongfang family hasn't caused me any trouble yet. That's good, Vice President Ouyang said. Oh right, recently, the ancient Dongfang family and the ancient Feng family have sent people to the Cultivator Trading Association to ask about you. How did you offend the ancient Feng family? That's nothing. We've had enmity for a long time. It's fine, Lenny said indifferently. Vice President Ouyang, I'm calling you this time because I want to talk to you about business. Oh, business? Vice President Ouyang was slightly taken aback. Then he smiled bitterly and said, Mr. Lin, as you know, the elixir business is really out of the question. Recently, the Heavenly Elixir sect has sent a large number of level 1 and level 2 elixir pills, especially the level 1 elixir pills. It won't be a problem to sell them until this time next year. Furthermore, the Heavenly Elixir sect doesn't need us to settle the accounts in cash. They just need to send the goods over and settle the accounts when they are sold. Such a good preferential policy. I really can't change anything. After all, this is a good thing for the Cultivator Trade Association to earn money. Besides, I really can't change anything. The high-quality updates are coming soon. Vice President Ouyang. The business I want to discuss with you this time is not the elixir business, but the medicine cauldron business, Lenny said. Medicine cauldron? Vice President Ouyang was a little stunned after hearing it. Mr. Ling, do you mean that you have a medicine cauldron to sell? This is not a problem, but the medicine cauldron is not a bestseller. Very few people buy it. After all, this thing is not a consumable. As long as it is not a beginner, it is rare for the cauldron to explode. My medicine cauldron is different from ordinary medicine cauldrons. It can't be explained in a few words. How about this? I will go to see you now and tell you personally, said Lenny. How about this? Let's arrange a place. I will meet you outside. Now there are some trusted aides from the headquarters here at the Cultivator Trade Association. If you come at this time, I am afraid it will be bad for you. Vice President Ouyang thought about it and said, Okay, then let's meet at the tea house at the foot of the mountain. Lenny said. At the foot of the mountain of the Cultivator Trade Association, there was a small village with a relatively large tea house. Some storytelling, crosstalk, and the like were performed all day. Lenny arranged to meet at this place. Okay, then I will go over now. Vice President Ouyang said. I know the owner of the tea house. I will go and ask for a private room first. Okay, then see you later. Lenny hung up the phone and rushed to the tea house near the Cultivator Trade Association's market with the mass-produced rank 1 automatic medicine cauldron sent by Lu Jinghan. As soon as he arrived at the tea house and parked the car, a young man dressed as a disciple of the Cultivator Trade Association walked over to Lin Yi's car. Is this Mr. Ling? It's me. Lenny had seen this disciple beside Vice President Ouyang before. He should be Vice President Ouyang's trusted aide, so he nodded. Did Vice President Ouyang send you? Yes, the Vice President is already waiting in the private room. Mr. Ling, this way please. The disciple said, and made a gesture of invitation. Lenny followed the disciple all the way to a private room on the second floor of the tea house. The disciple knocked on the door, then opened the door to let Lin Yi in, and retreated. Obviously, he would not participate in the conversation between Lin Yi and Vice President Ouyang. Mr. Ling, you are here. Vice President Ouyang stood up with a smile and greeted Lin Yi. Vice President Ouyang, thank you for coming. Although Lin Yi was confident that after taking out the rank 1 automatic medicine cauldron, Vice President Ouyang would be happy to cooperate with him. After all, the thing had not been taken out yet. Vice President Ouyang showed such an attitude, which made Lin Yi very touched. There is business coming to my door, so I naturally have to take the initiative. Moreover, with our current relationship, there is no need to be so polite. Mr. Ling, what is the medicine cauldron you mentioned? Vice President Ouyang waved his hand and said indifferently, it is this thing. As Lin Yi said this, he took out the rank 1 automatic medicine cauldron from his backpack. This was a 10-in-1 limited edition auction. Lin Yi was not going to take it away today, but he planned to leave it for Vice President Ouyang to use as a promotional sample. After all, no matter how miraculous this thing was advertised, without the real thing, those ancient sects and hidden houses would probably think that it was just boasting. After all, scientific alchemy was just too unbelievable. If it wasn't for the fact that this thing really existed, those alchemists probably wouldn't have believed it. This medicine cauldron is very strange. Why is there a display on it? Vice President Ouyang asked after seeing the medicine cauldron in Lin Yi's hand. You're tuning in to the Li Mei's Sword of Destiny YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.